Hey,
Hello.
man. Oh, man, I love that song.
It's just so groovy.
Bill,
Got a new
how
location.
the hell are you?
I'm great.
Look at
Yeah. Look, I'm in my room. How's my connection? It's usually not great in here. But
you look great, sound great.
all right, cool. Good.
Just as lovely as ever. Welcome to Worcestery Council Theater 3000, everybody. Brought to you by Crafty Kombucha, the greatest kombucha on the planet. This is an exciting night, Bill.
Yes, it is. It's the first meeting for two and for Tel, and actually this afternoon had the pleasure of listening to both of them and Christian King argue in the State House in support of lifting the statewide ban on local rent control measures, which is something that could feasibly happen in the next couple of months. And it was really cool to see, all three of them getting involved in a statewide thing that would impact Worcester a lot. And it's great to see that that's a priority for all of them.
Yeah, diving right the fuck in.
Yeah, for sure. Even before their first meeting, already showing that they're going to work together. So that's really what's exciting about this meeting and meetings going forward is seeing how the city council is just going to be a little bit better and seeing what those better councilors are going to face in terms of institutional opposition.
Now, I think the game for tonight for everybody in the comments, we have to try and come up with a name for this coalition.
I know
a cool squad, like gang name for these three. So if everybody can work on that, throw your pitches out throughout the night. Let's
sexy beasts. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, that's on the list. We'll put it on the list.
Throw it on.
We'll do a poll. Let's before we go any further, let's bring in our every single episode special guest. The man, he knows it all about the 508. Please welcome Brendan Melican, everybody.
Hey, shaking,
Brendan.
gentlemen.
Hello, Brendan.
I think we need to come up with a theme song for this council. If this council had a theme song, what would it be?
Ooh. For the whole council or for our
like if they had entrance music, like they are a tag team partnership. Like I would go with like a G6 by Far East Movement. I think that's the song that best encapsulates the entire council as a body.
The whole council, the stable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. But the G6, it only flies to Orlando and New York City.
Also works.
One of those planes today, it might have even been a military plane or something. There was one plane that was flying really, really low today.
That was a weird one. I saw that actually today.
Did anyone see that?
Yeah, I saw that driving home, actually, coming up to 290 over.
I was going right by City Hall, and I was like, is this going to fly into a building? Like,
it's Matt Wally stole a plane. This is it.
Shit, I was supposed to grab the 6:30 flight, not the 3:30. I fucked up even being a terrorist. No. Yeah, that was weird. But this is gonna be a fun meeting. For a couple of reasons.
What jumps out to you?
Yeah, going right in a row down the agenda, and here I'll get the agenda. I have the good version of it pulled up. There's like 3 different versions of the agenda that get posted on the website, and only one of them is like good and has the attachments on it.
Which include Gary Rosen's resume. Did you see that?
Yes, that's the first thing.
Like I expected it to.
That's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Right. Gary Rosen, just when he thought he was out, they drag him back in. Gary Rosen is going to be on the Board of Health. And I think he actually had his first Board of Health meeting on yesterday, or maybe he couldn't do it before they officially approved him. But Gary Rosen is taking the place of Chairman David Fort, which is an extremely bad trade. David Fort was like, hey, Mo. Hey, Mo. Where you going with that gun in your hand? Anyway, Gary Rosen is going to replace David Fort. David Fort was one of the only public officials in Worcester that seemed to take Black Lives Matter seriously at all. And now he's gone because he made the police department too angry, probably. So that is, that's stupid. And now we get Gary Rosen, who just lives for being there. He just loves the game.
Pickleball in particular.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the game he
loves. He just wants to be a part of it.
Bo Mergman in the house.
Okay, so we did drop in the link with his resume. And it's a work of art. It's exactly what you would expect. It's definitely just some Microsoft Word template that he pulled and plugged some crap into. It's beautiful.
It's so good. Like, I mean, God bless him, you know. I really hated to see him go, but I guess now I don't.
But I love to watch him leave. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love to watch him leave. What a fox.
He can pickle my ball anytime he likes.
Yeah. Oh boy. It's getting too steamy in here already. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to calm down. The library.
Very excited that Gary is still with us. He was the only one I was sad to lose. So
yeah. In the arms of a Rosen. What else? The library guy is going to talk for 10 minutes about something not specified in the agenda. So who knows? It says allow library director 10 minutes to present, but it does not say what he's presenting on or anything. So we're just going to have to find out what's going on at the library. There's a body cam resolution, which is boring and predictable, and we've talked a lot about that. You know, we don't need body cameras. We shouldn't be spending money on body cameras, but we're like 8 years behind anything good that ever happens. So it's 2021 and we're going to put cameras on the cops. Sure, whatever. Mo Bergman has a couple interesting things on. He wants a gift card for local businesses, like an Amex card, but just ones that you can spend on at local places. But it's 2022.
It's 2022.
Sure, yeah, whatever. Who cares? It's been 2020 for it's been 2020 for a decade, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, time isn't years.
Yeah.
I'm still saying 2021 on my live stream show.
Yeah. Well, whatever. It's the last year on Earth. Who cares? I'm platforming. I'm basically like as bad as Joe Rogan because I platform Mo Bergman every week. And what else? He wants to make JFK Day. For some reason, we're gonna have a JFK Day in Worcester. Whatever. Who cares? I don't know. Well, whatever. Sure. Cool. Fine. It's listen, people. It's 2021. Why are we still talking about JFK? Yeah. I mean, I got a grassy knoll for you, Mo Bergman.
You put
parody.
my pickleball in it.
Parody. Jenny Pacillo might be making some moves tonight. Her petition to sort of permanently enshrine calling in remote access to city council. Remote access to city council is going to be heard today,
and also eliminating the 30-minute time limit.
Yeah, eliminating the 30-minute time limit, right? So we'll see.
Again, I just want to say, Benoit, this show does not support Jenny Pacillo. Just because she happens to be right about this thing, this is still an anti-Jenny Pacillo show. She calls in and hangs up on us all the time.
I would encourage anybody listening to actually call in on that item and just pause and 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 drag the whole thing out as long as possible. So even we are upset that she brought this forward.
Yeah. Jenny Pacillo, the only person in the universe that wants public participation to go longer than a half hour. And then that whole Brattle Street thing that brought out all the Richard Cipro people that are bemused by their Puerto Rican neighbors or something. Remember that? Brazilian, right. Yeah, they're like, oh, I learned and I'm using it for self-serving reasons that Brazilian families are people too.
The best thing about that whole issue is I'm told by someone who lives in the neighborhood that they're not actually Brazilian, but they're a really nice Filipino family. So that's secondhand, but I think the point stands.
That's so much better. Yeah, they're probably Brazilian. I don't know, but I'll say it. So I hope she's back. She's a delight. Yeah. She's a real treat. And we might see some stuff about charter review, but that's up in the air. That's kind of I'm not sure if we'll actually talk about that one tonight.
Are they still gonna be confused if they're talking about the city charter or charter communications?
Yeah.
I hope so. I assume so.
Yep. We really have an amazing crop of public officials that are always on the ball and take their jobs very seriously. But we also have to start a misgendering count. Of how many times who is non-binary, for anybody who doesn't know that, will be called a he or a she or
just fucking up they is
or they'll pull my old editor at Worcester Magazine, Walter Bird, whenever that sort of thing got brought up, would always be like, oh, well, I identify as a helicopter. And I'd just be like, shut the fuck up, Walter. So we'll see if we get any shit like that. I identify as a bollard. I am very stubborn and hard to get rid of. And I absorb blows from cars.
I saw somebody tweet or put up a video about this, that like when people do that, like I had attack helicopter, you just use that as their pronoun and like just drive them fucking crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Right, hey, yeah.
Bill, were you around Worcester when the downtown the bollards were first installed around like City Square when that was first a thing? This is like long ago, Mike O'Brien days, but like when all those black bollards that are now chained together, when they were first installed, they installed them, but the company that installed them never actually bolted them in place. So on any random night, someone would just push one over and it would be like 50 pounds of steel just rolling down Main Street or like rolling across. They caused so many accidents. It was fantastic.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Oh yeah. They're all doing remote tonight. This should be great.
Okay. We got Councilor Carlson is up cam. Who's down cam?
Councilor Carlson?
Here.
They were so terrified to have a Tellen 2 in the building that they couldn't do it.
Here.
Councilor Rose?
Here.
Councilor Russell?
Here.
Councilor Toomey?
Heads
Here.
And Mr. Mayor Petty.
Yeah.
Going on tour with Janet Jackson.
Proclamation, and we'll get quickly here, and this is
Moonlight says
Traffic Awareness Month. I think is Nikki Bell on the phone?
Squad. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
this is a good one.
you promoted her to a panelist.
The two whereas to address prevention, protection, and prosecution of human trafficking. The United States passed the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000 and the House Bill 3808.
To see all her packing
Act
stuff for
of
Etsy.
Commercial exploitation of people went into effect February 19th, 2012. And in 2021, the state of Massachusetts introduced new guidelines in partnership with survivors.
Oh, that's a horrible way to talk about your colleague.
Including Living in Freedom Together, also known as LIFT, for the training law enforcement and responding to commercial sexual exploitation.
He Toomey lives in like a cop's
Whereas in 2017, the United States signed a voluntary compact on elimination of sexual exploitation and abuse, which sets out specific commitments by signatory member states to prevent sexual exploitation and abuse, to hold perpetrators accountable, and to support victims. And whereas the city of Worcester and LIFT are working to provide ongoing support to victims of commercial and sexual exploitation and sex trafficking locally, and thus making Worcester home to the first survivor-led substance abuse disorder program for survivors in the country in 2019.
Awfully convenient for Joe Petty to talk about sex trafficking when it's well known that in the basement of Newton Square Pizza, there's a sex trafficking ring being run by Ed Augustus, and no one's doing anything about it. We need brave patriots to step up tonight.
Rise up.
Use of all genders under 25.
If we go on,
according to the 2020 U.S.
we go
Department of Trafficking in-person report, the United States considers trafficking in person and human trafficking to be interchangeable umbrella
God, we're so dumb.
terms that refer to both sex and labor trafficking.
Hey, did you guys see that there's a fake COVID testing place on Grafton Street?
No.
What? A high risk of trafficking and LIFT has
I'll get the article right now.
Since its founding,
the one that you were talking about, Brendan, that's a fake one.
Hard to educate and train allied
I didn't find anyone to Grafton Street. I was to Mercantile.
I thought you said there was one in Rice Square. That's the one that's bad.
Of barriers exiting, including the low public awareness.
They give people fake tests and everyone comes out negative.
What do they test?
May not identify
COVID.
Safely due to
but
safety
they don't. They just say everyone's negative.
Essence is a crime designed not to be.
They use bogus tests. It's like
now, therefore,
vaccine wandering.
January 11th, 2020, as
National
Human Trafficking Awareness Month.
Are they charging?
Encourage all residents to recognize.
I don't know.
I mean, grifters are gonna grift, man. This is
if they're charging, then yeah, of course it makes sense. If they're not charging, though, that's just weird shit. Yeah.
I am.
They're just
thank you, Mayor Petty,
brave patriots,
and City Council.
Do they at least pickle your sinuses with
and
a
the
little
Department
swab?
of Public Health for working in partnership
What
with LIFT
bunker
to provide
is Nicole
services
Bell
for
in?
victims of sex trafficking and educate our community on this under-recognized and underreported crime. We appreciate all of our partnership and collaboration and work together.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bell. Appreciate the good work.
That's amazing.
We are on the adopted the rules of City Council 2022-2023.
Picked up
the stream later on, which Council King's
got too real, got too close,
too close to the truth, and I got censored.
So we'll get that in for next week. And
keep an eye out for it.
16A. We're also going to hold item 19B, which is the Brown Street Market.
Is Donna in
Interesting.
City Hall by herself?
So that's going to be held later on. As the gentleman.
That's like
very- Yeah. That's City Hall, all right.
I mean, Joe clearly
said,
is too, but
What's
I'm gonna
she
guess it's
doing
off.
in there?
Rules of the city
Well,
council.
Joe's in his office, I think. Donna just doesn't agree with going back to virtual, I guess.
Councilor
she's just
IGA,
getting drunk by herself in chambers.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson,
Yeah, is she at the mayor's desk?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Man,
Councilor Russell?
Merrill Carlson,
Yes.
unflattering
Councilor
angle, gotta
Toomey?
say.
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Also, she's in City
Yes.
Hall too.
Next item is the approval of the minutes. 7A.
She also looks like
her
she's wearing a
This is
Snuggie.
December 14th, 2021, and 7B.
Christmas fits, man.
Motions to start directly on the roll call. Roll call.
Hell yeah.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Caloria,
Yes.
Councilor Hajier,
if you're
Yeah.
if you're at Breen's,
Councilor
someone's
King?
either licking face, kicking face, or puking on each other's shoes.
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson,
God bless Breens.
Councilor
What an
Nguyen?
establishment.
I love Breens.
Yes.
I love
Councilor
Matt,
Rivera?
the owner.
Yes.
We've known each other
Councilor
since
Rose?
preschool.
Yes.
He's one of the
Councilor
best people
Russell?
I know.
yes, Councilor Toomey?
That place is
Yes.
fucking crazy.
Mayor Petty.
Okay, half of them are in
Yes.
City Hall.
So,
Mo's in City Hall, Christian's in City Hall.
The person may speak for no more than 2 minutes, and I am carrying on the agenda.
Pretty freaking
And,
weird.
So, Nico, since everybody's remote, nobody's allowed in the building. So,
Yeah.
of course, we
Okay.
have, how many people do we have waiting?
Why would you say that when
Mayor, we have a
visual
little
evidence
over,
contradicts you?
20 folks on electronic devices on the phone. We're
What an
gonna start with
unforced
calling
error.
users
No
on
one's
the
allowed
phone
in the
first,
building. He's in the building.
and then we'll
You're
go
in
to
the building.
electronic devices.
Come on.
Travis, can we throw the number
we are
up?
able
I
to
think people
recognize
should
the
call
first 6
in
digits of
and
your phone
support
number.
12A, which
So what
is
I'm going to do
Jenny's.
is going to start in that
item.
manner by recognizing the first 6 digits.
But make sure that
And
say
if that's your
you
phone
don't
number,
support
you know,
Jenny as a
starting with the area
person.
code and the
You
3
just
digits
support
afterwards.
this item.
I'm going to try to unmute you in that order. So the first calling user I can identify is somebody with a phone
Interesting.
774-303. If you can please identify yourself and the item you're calling
Bill, you seen
on
this?
for this meeting. for the
What?
city council.
Hold on. I
Hi.
was looking at the agenda.
Hi, my name is Sherry Stanley, and I'm calling in for the COVID
How did they get it?
relief
Good
for the
to-
city.
Good to know.
And I'm a staff worker at the WAFT, the Worcester Anti-Foreclosure Team, and we're having outrageous numbers of evictions and foreclosures. And with this no moratorium, it's extremely dangerous with the surge in COVID for these families. They have nowhere to go. They have small children. Many have a lot of health issues, and at the moment do have COVID. And I'm just really concerned in myself. I'm a single mom of 5 children, and I'm dealing with it also. And it's very scary when you don't have protection. And I'm just hoping that something can be done about that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Someone didn't hear about Gary Rosen being named to public health.
Nico.
Mayor, the next speaker I can identify
fix
as
it.
the calling user is with the digits 774-242. If you're on that line, can you please state your name and city of residence and item you're calling on? Again, the phone number is 774-242, the first 6 digits.
Sounds like a city.
Okay, not hearing from them. We're going to move on. Next phone number is 508-769. I'm going to try to unmute that calling.
Giving out people's
user.
phone numbers.
It's coming
Yeah,
from
right?
inside the building.
Yes,
Ooh,
good evening.
guys.
This is
We have
Richard Burke
a
from Fallon Health calling in and
Very
relative to
special
the
guest
item
here.
uh,
I'm gonna bring
pertaining
them in
to our
now.
donation at Fallon to the Worcester Senior Center.
Jenny,
Hey,
thank you for showing up.
Thank you,
What do you
Richard.
have to say for
Appreciate being
yourself?
here tonight.
They held
We're gonna
my
let the city manager will say a
item
few
till
words
next week.
after the
I'm
appropriate
pissed.
citation, so if you want to bear with
What
us.
the hell?
What the fuck?
Christian King wrote it and he held
you
it.
very
So
much.
I don't really
Thank you.
understand that.
Chris
So
held it?
All right, the next calling user is 508-963.
Fucking, let's go beat him up.
Please state your name
it
and
was
Yeah.
either
city of
Jenny's
residence and
item or
item you're
that
calling on.
scarf. He had to make a choice.
Whose side are you on?
Horton from
Whose
Worcester,
neck are you on?
and I am calling in regard to city's response to the COVID spike, and just want to
I would say that's
Yes.
exactly why.
That's exactly what they want.
It's
Yeah.
exactly- I mean, they got rid of the one guy who did anything. So
foreclosures.
I still have to
and
call David
evictions
Ford and see what the
for
story behind that
duration
is.
of the spike and all actions related to
So
it.
any rumors
because it is
would be
creating
welcome.
a chaotic,
I can bring them to his attention.
dangerous situation.
Yeah, if there's
for
anybody that
people
you
are
know
involved.
works in City Hall and has
I
heard
would like
things,
I was involved in
text somebody.
an action to postpone an eviction while someone was filing an emergency appeal.
Every Worcester household gets a
We had
special shipment of ivermectin,
of
courtesy of Richard Cipro's Board of Health.
and movers.
Why?
descend
Yeah,
on
well,
us
I'm very
and wait
curious.
till the
Kristen didn't give you an explanation, Jenny. You
This
didn't
was
say
in
anything.
Leicester, but these were
No.
Worcester constables, and wait till the police were called away, and then they came in and physically
Well,
attempted to remove us.
there might be a
None
good
of
faith
them was
reason for it.
wearing
I mean,
masks.
I was just
It was
thinking, listening to this
chaotic
call here,
situation
like maybe
for
they
an
just
hour
thought
and a
this is the
half.
first meeting of the
And
year.
that-
There's probably a backlog
the
after
middle
3
of
weeks off, and
COVID
like,
spike is
okay,
a-
let's limit this one
the,
meeting to 30 minutes, and then we'll start clean next week
potential-
with just opening the doors.
Right.
This probably isn't the one we want
And it's
unlimited call in for.
Everything about an eviction
You're scared.
is chaotic and unplanned and desperate, and it is no time for people to be dealing with that when there's a pandemic surging. Thank you.
Thank you. Next
I'm
speaker.
very happy to see that there's multiple
Thank you,
callers
Mr.
about
Mayor. The
this.
next speaker to identify is with the phone number 508-868. If you're on the line, can you please state your name and city of residence?
This is not a good way to do this.
Can the calling user with the number 508-868 please
Yeah,
recognize
it's their
yourself?
whole phone number, right?
It's just the
Okay,
first
now here
6
for that
digits
calling
of it,
user, we're
but
gonna move on to the last
No.
calling
Still.
user. Phone
You
number
could
is
just do last four and it'd be
508-942.
a lot
If
better.
you're on
I
the line,
think.
can you please state your name and city of residence?
The city that caller ID
Jessica
forgot.
Makoviak, Worcester, Mass.
Go ahead, Jessica, thank you.
Jess.
Jess.
Hi, I'm calling
What up,
about
Jess?
a measure that Jenny Pacillo put forward in regards to
Aw.
public comments being still held virtually after the pandemic, and also the time limit being extended beyond 30 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
right, motherfuckers.
All right, Mr. Mayor, we're gonna
That's
move
my
on to
girl
the
right there.
folks with electronic
She doesn't
devices.
fuck
The
around.
first,
Okay.
person I can identify with an electronic
She
device
backs
is
it up.
Alex Guardiola. I'm going to try to mute Alex now.
Thank you. Just listening in.
Thank you, Alex. The next
Get involved,
speaker identified
Alex.
is Cynthia Bermudez. I'm going to try to unmute Cynthia now.
I'm just listening as well.
Thank you,
Cynthia,
The next
get your
speaker is
shit
David
together.
Sullivan. I'm going to try to mute
this is a
David
moving
now.
train.
Hey, Nico, just listening. Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Ooh, all these
right, the
people.
next speaker is David Zimage. I'm going to try to unmute David now. David, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can
Team is
through
Facebook. I was looking for it on the agenda. I thought I
Yeah,
read
Twitch
the
doesn't do the
notice that,
subtitles.
we were gonna,
Not our
Normally
fault.
this, yeah,
inform the
normally
city
these
council
subtitles are a
tonight that
lot
Gary
better.
Rosen
They
is
seem to be a little off tonight.
being appointed.
I
to the
think
Board
it's
of Health.
because
Is that correct?
It's an item on the
connection
agenda.
quality isn't as good.
Okay. I'd like to ask the city manager to reconsider. I have the utmost respect for Gary Rosen. I know David Fort's term is expiring, but I really believe he should be replaced with a person of color.
All right.
Booyah.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker identifies Fred Taylor.
Good afternoon,
I also
everyone, or good evening.
don't want
Happy New
Gary
Year.
Rosen. Imagine Gary Rosen gets voted
just
off.
wanna call in support of
that'd be
Fred
awesome.
Taylor, Worcester resident. I'd like to call
Oh,
in
these are the
support
WebEx.
of,
These are the
item
WebEx
13A,
subtitles.
the
There we
chairman's
go.
order to implement body cameras. I just want to call in support and thank everyone for supporting that initiative.
Are
I
you
wanna
guys
also
doing the
congratulate all the
captions
city
or is the city
councilors
doing it?
who were,
Those are municipal
fortunate enough
captions.
to
Has
be
nothing to do with us.
reelected. And,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
proud
like
to be a Worcester
Facebook
resident
interpreting
and
the
look at
audio
demographics of what the
of
city
the
council looks like this term, and hopefully
we're
it'll
just
continue
watching
to
it
go in
happen.
that direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Sorry, Fred. Okay, the next speaker is Jennifer Melendez. I'm going to try to unmute Jennifer now.
Hi, Nico. Thank you. I'm just here as listening in on the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Next speaker I can identify Mr. Mayor is Kevin Kassan. I'm going to try to unmute Kevin now.
Kevin Kassan. I'd just like to encourage the council to hold the body camera item in terms of approving the program. It just feels like all of us should see what the policy is going to be. We said we were going to all look at it. We're all going to have a say in what the policy was. So it just feels kind of backwards to approve the program before the policy comes back from a draft policy comes back from the manager. So that's my ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Kevin,
Mr. Mayor, the next
expecting
speaker
things to
is
work in a
Michael
democratic
Morrissey.
way.
Try to unmute Michael now.
What a silly guy. That's not how it
Michael,
works.
can you hear us?
You got to just listen to
Right,
what the
Michael,
manager
I'm gonna
says.
move on. It's the next speaker is Robert Bellata. I'm going to try to mute Robert now.
Yes, hi, my name is Robert Bellata.
Oh, you guys
former
just
member
froze
of the
up on me
Disability
really
Commission
bad.
for the City of Worcester. I was just calling to support item 12A and with the City Council possibly keeping remote participation.
Okay, everyone
with,
pretend that
City Council
we can't
meetings
see
moving
Bill
forward. I think
dancing
it's
around.
really
No,
important
he's still frozen.
to make that rule change and keep remote participation in the
Nope,
City
Bill's still
Council
frozen.
meetings to
Can't see him
encourage,
doing anything at all.
participation from people with disabilities and especially those that might not be able to attend in person. This really opens up the
Well, now that I can't be on the
means,
stream anymore because my
people that
connection's
might not be
cutting
able to
out, I might as
attend
well
in
go to
person and would like to
pornhub.com.
Here we
Not
go,
gonna-
guys. Here we go.
Let me get my hat.
Not going to look at any other tabs that I might have open.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker.
No need for that. I already got my headphones on, so as not to disturb my
Just
roommate.
listening, thank you.
Thank you, Doug. We do need municipal broadband so we don't see Bill watch
Let me.
porn.
I like to stand up when I watch
Just listening.
porn.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, I got to move to my
Next
my
speaker
living
is
room.
Sean
so it
Bartone.
stops.
I'm going to try to mute Sean now.
Please.
You're not hearing from Sean, Mr. Mayor. I think that concludes public participation.
Okay, so we'll take, I know Richard Burke from Fallon was on the phone. I'm sure he's still there. And Mr. Manager wanted to take the 11.36B, which is a donation from Fallon. So you take a motion to suspend the rules to go to 11.36B. Roll call.
Which one's that? 11.36B.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Cool headphones.
Yes.
Bill.
Councilor Jay,
Yes.
Councilor King,
What?
Yes.
Councilor Moore Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Manager, I know there's a donation
Ooh,
of $200,000.
George Russell, nice basement.
Mr. Manager.
He has a pool table.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate the
He's
council taking this out of order. And
Hey, listen, can we fire this guy?
Richard Burke from
That's just-
Fallon, who's the CEO of
He's the
Fallon
worst
Health,
air
and a
traffic
great
controller I've
partner with
ever
the city of
seen.
Worcester on so many different initiatives. And this
Where's
is
that
just
commenter
another
that
great
seems to have
example of
keys to
how
City Hall? Just go lock
Fallon
that
works
door
with the
forever.
community
Yeah.
and tries to give back to the community. There on your agenda tonight is
Maybe
to
if we go
accept
unlock
the
City Hall, Ed Augustus will
donation
escape.
from Fallon to support our senior center, particularly with programming over the next 5 years to keep seniors physically fit. Of course, we've embarked on expanding the senior center to provide
All right.
physical
the debate
activity
is settled.
space that we can keep seniors healthy and keep them, engaged. And Fallon's
That is
program
interesting.
dollars are really going to help us take full advantage of that facility
That is
and
very
making sure
interesting.
that the senior center reaches out to as many people as possible.
Free service.
I know
What do you
Mr. Burke wanted to say a few words, but I would just want to express on behalf of the administration and the senior center our appreciation of Fallon, not only for all their partnerships, but this one in particular, and the difference it's going to make for the seniors here in the city of
Why did
Worcester.
they give him a wide angle lens for this?
Mr. Burke, Richard, you still
It
on?
looks tiny.
I am, yes.
Okay, we can hear you.
This is
Well, good
SpawnCon.
evening, Mayor Petty and members of the council. Thank you, City Manager Augustus, and thank you for the opportunity to highlight this donation. For the past 45 years, Fallon Health has been focusing on improving health and inspiring hope among our members and the residents of the communities we serve. We've had a long and meaningful relationship with the City of Worcester, as the City Manager just pointed out, and it goes back to our founding in the city in 1977. And so it's with great pride that we once again partner with the city to provide what we're calling 5 years of fitness at the senior center. With an emphasis on caring for older adults, we recognize the importance of programs to promote healthy aging.
What the fuck
Our
is this?
$200,000 commitment to the Worcester Senior Center's 5 years of fitness program will cover certified instructors' fees for the next 5 years, as well as the
Fitness
cost of
booting
a
old Bergman's
variety
ass.
of exercise equipment. We know these types of programs that promote group exercise have long been a popular choice among older adults. It's our hope that these funds will encourage and inspire even more people to stay active in mind and body. So we're really appreciative of the opportunity to partner.
Joe Petty
in this
looking
way
like
with
a
the
dog
city.
hearing
I
somebody
thank you
like
for your time this evening to say a
asking
few
if he
words.
wants to go for a
and I
walk
look
right now.
forward to seeing this program rolled out. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Burke, and thank you, Fallon, for everything you do for the city. Thank you for the donation. With a roll call for acceptance. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor Agia,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. The next item is hearings in order. The National Grid location, condo location on Byron Street. So the motion is to open the hearing. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor Agia,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay. So anybody opposed to this item or questions? Seeing done, the motion is going to be to close the hearing and to adopt. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes and yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes and yes.
Councilor Agia,
Yes, and yes.
Barely,
Councilor
Ben.
King,
He's
Yes.
right on the line of not getting it right.
Councilor Merrill Carlson,
Yes and yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes and yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes to both.
Councilor Rose,
Yes. Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes to both.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes and yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes to both. Okay. Next item is petitions. Going to have petitions 10A to 10F to refer to Public Works, 10G to 10Q refer to traffic and parking, 10R to 10W set a date for a hearing of January 18th, 2022 at 30 p.m.
While we're doing ads here for the
Roll call.
city, let's
Councilor Bergman.
let's get an ad in for ourselves. We're brought to you by Crafty Kombucha tonight, everybody. Worcester's local culture. If your store doesn't carry Crafty Kombucha,
Burn it to the ground. Oh,
go
sorry.
down to Fallon. Yes, no, yeah. That's yeah. I was gonna say go down to Fallon Healthcare and get a ripped ass senior and get them to come with you and tear that store down brick by brick. We love Crafty Kombucha. Drink craft tea every damn day, and bring your bottles back to Matt. Bring your bottles back to him. Let's save him a buck.
10X, Nathan Sabo would request council schedule a meeting for the purpose of discussing the successes and lessons learned of the course of the Blue Sox opening season and public notice for a meeting to be sent to the residents of the Canal District. I know myself and Councilor Carlson, I think, filed that about a month ago, if I remember right. So that's something I believe the administration is working on, Mr. Manager. And so we can file that. And then 10Y, Michael Gondone requests consideration of 50% tax rates for commercial property tax owners whose buildings have ground
Booth
level
Hawks.
storefronts. And 10Z, request the manager contact National Grid, Eversource Energy staff to ask them to consider Worcester as a test city for the energy savings program and changing all city lights to LED bulbs to enhance lighting in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce.
Mr. Mayor, I'm
Yep.
sorry. For 10Y, there's an amendment that the petitioner, Michael Grandone, has asked me to bring forward to the council.
Yep.
And he wants the second sentence to read, decreasing store for vacancies, not increasing store from vacancies. Councilor Russell, is that correct? Your interpretation as well?
That's my interpretation via his email to us.
Okay, so we're gonna send those two to the manager, so you take all three items. Yeah, Council?
I have a question about 10Z. I thought the city had already changed the bulbs to LED. Is that true or?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Just, I don't know how to read this. I was wondering it myself.
He doesn't know how to
The
read.
city
Oh,
buildings, all
no.
city and school department buildings, and all 14,000 streetlights have been converted to LED. He may be talking about beyond city government when he says city lights. I don't know if he's talking about
Change the
private
stars and
homes
the
or
moon
businesses.
to LED.
But the city of Worcester and the Worcester Public Schools have all converted to LED lights. So.
I think you're correct. So we can send both those to the manager and file X, get those collectively.
All right. Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Gloria,
Yes.
Councilor Hajier,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen, Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes.
All right.
We have non-city council confirmation.
Finally back in.
11.1
All right, so this
A,
should be
B, and
better now.
C.
Sorry for the
One is transmitting information.
technical
communication
difficulties.
about
What can we do?
No problem. They're
What are we gonna do?
selling the
Committee
Woo
of Preservation of
Socks.
Historic Artifacts, relics.
Oh yeah, for 50 million?
Transmitting information communication of the appointment of Gary Rosen to the Board of Health.
I can't wait till the Woo Sox are
The
just some
appointment
like subsidiary
Buffalo
team.
To the zoning board of appeals.
Oh, you like
So, motion to file, but I just want to say thank you for your service, those three people, and much appreciated. So the motion is to file.
This is actually where we film all those.
This are the new city councilors. These are
For
non-city
Pornhub.
council confirmations. These are
Yeah.
appointed by the manager. We don't.
Boom.
We
Boom.
don't.
Got him.
Wow. Poo Sox.
Councilor Bergman,
Damn.
Yes.
Councilor Gloria,
That's where a comedy just,
Councilor Hajier,
it's hard to handle.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen, Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Well,
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
there you
Yes.
go.
and Mayor Petty.
I don't know who that person was.
Yes. Next item is recommended adoption of disclosure of financial interest for a municipal employee.
Doesn't look like anybody
roll
to me
call.
at all.
He's nothing to me, that's for
Councilor
sure.
Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Gloria,
Yes.
Councilor Hajier,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Put the friggin'
Oh,
scarf
yeah.
back on.
Councilor
Christian
Rivera,
heard that we're
Yes.
making fun of
Councilor
him.
Scarf.
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
It was
Yes.
a sharp scarf.
Toomey.
Christian.
Yes.
Just making
I
sure.
have a, I appreciate it.
Next one is.
Yeah. It's a good
We have a
scarf. We
point.
made a whole friggin'
Seven
graphic about it.
A,
Yeah.
When you're trapped in
recommended
a
adoption of revised
drafty
city
municipal
assessment
building
order of
where you're not
street
supposed to be.
tenements on
Yeah.
Tornita
That's
Avenue,
apparently
assessment
locked.
25,708 and 25,809.
Because the key master is on this chat.
Chairman.
No one's allowed in
Councilor
the
Russell?
building.
Is Commissioner
You can actually
Besides-
Yes, he is.
get
Could you
that
just
sweater
explain what this is about?
on her Etsy.
Commissioner?
George Russell
Good
evening.
loves to
The
be
Fink.
confused.
The engineering department has recalculated the assessment that had been previously charged. And based on a recalculation, hence the revised numbers that you see in front of you.
Turn on your camera, the Fink.
Hardline through, Mr. Chairman?
I'm
Commissioner?
sorry, say that again?
Was it just a clerical error through you,
It was-
Mr. Chairman?
In essence, yes, it was a mathematical error.
Aw.
What's that? Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor Hajier,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes.
That painting is so
11.23A,
bad.
recommend that Jason
So
Fulmer, Executive
creepy.
Director of the Worcester Public Library, be allowed to present for approximately 10 minutes. This is something that we vote for in December to do, so as.
What the hell is this?
Fulmer,
I'm so
do
confused by
study
this one.
earlier.
Hello.
Go ahead, Jason.
Certainly. So I was going to present a short, try to keep it under 10 minutes. state of the library, and I believe that I'll need to be able to present.
Oh, we
unless
don't need to
Nico
see
was gonna
this.
pull it up.
I was totally hoping it was going to be like that video from the
Delmar, I will
young
give
woman
you
at
the
Walmart,
presenter
like
right
giving
there.
her notice over the intercom. Just
Oh yeah, that'd be so
You should
sick.
be all set.
Excellent.
I didn't sign up to just work in the homeless person jerk off factory. Oh
So
boy,
hopefully
there's a
it
whole
looks like
PowerPoint
my
too. This
presentation
fucking
is
sucks.
up.
I love
and
the
so
library
I'll
to
get
death.
started.
But this
Again,
fucking
my name is
sucks.
Jason
made
Homer.
with the
I
same
am the
template
new
as Gary
executive
Rose's
director.
resume.
Well,
Nice.
I'll still say new for a while now. I
This
just
guy
in
doesn't
December
follow me back
celebrated my
on Twitter,
1 year
so I kinda have
anniversary here in Worcester. And I'm truly excited to be here and excited to share with you a short state of the library, as well as talk about our pandemic response.
I bet this guy is
how
like
we're
a
doing
reply guy to
post
me,
renovation
saying
at the
something
main branch,
snarky
as
and
well as
stupid all the time.
share some of the
He's
additional
got a
successes
burner.
of the staff.
Oh yeah.
Jumped a couple. Apologize.
Oh my god. This is
so to
Stick
get
to
there,
books,
one
you
thing I
fucking
want to
loser.
address is the value.
This
of
is kind of
libraries.
fucking
So
miserable.
since the beginning of the internet,
This
we
could
in
have been an
libraries have
email,
needed
you know what
to
I mean?
justify our existence.
That's
How
been
would
10
we
minutes
give
long.
Take that
people
on
the
and are
chance
very
to speak
excited
for
to
public
explain that to
participation,
people.
and this is a
But
whole
what that
PowerPoint? Why
ultimately
can't I
gave
do a
us was a leg up
Yeah.
on
Squeebo, totally true.
everyone
That is a
else
weird
as
thing
the
about Worcester,
pandemic
but
began
man,
to
that
shut things
library
down, and
board,
people had to look
that's a strange
focus
cabal.
on their mission, purpose, and vision
Travis, can you
statements.
just turn this
We
like
had been
way down?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I mean,
Oh my god.
yeah, right. Libraries are socialist, and that means that they're terrible and awful, and we should burn them down and all the books inside. Yeah, really, really uninterested in the 10-minute state of the library address, because I'm sure they're doing great things, but
printer and our innovation center.
I don't need to know. You know, I don't need to know. None of us
The
need to know.
kids' room
about
is
this.
cool. There's like a rocket ship.
Yeah,
and
that is
there are
nice.
big,
I've been
big
up there.
screens. Yeah.
Put along the way, both informally.
They got
and
rid of the
formal,
giraffe, and that's
and
all
in
I care
essence,
about.
our staff was encouraged to
Oh,
do
no.
my guiding
Yeah,
principle
this
that
is.
I got
I
from
don't know
my
who
city
asked for
must, and
this.
this
Yeah,
principle
I
was
love
to
the
learn
Worcester
to
Public
take chances
Library.
and make mistakes.
And you know,
That's a good
libraries
question.
serve many
You guys have
different.
your library cards?
To really look
Oh
at
fuck
how
yeah, I
we
do.
money to our
That's your
community.
ass.
know it.
That's your
As our
sweet
community
ass. Pull it out right now.
We're all coping with
Mine
this
was
together.
unusable for 10 years because I
But what this ultimately
accidentally
led
kept an
on-
Anthony
led to
Bourdain book
was
for too
creating
long.
transformative
Oh,
But,
Kitchen Confidential.
yeah, but then they got rid of
That was you?
they got rid of fines. Yeah,
That
I'm
was
sorry.
you.
Friend was on the waiting list.
Check it out. Boom. Card carrying socialist.
Look at that.
Those barriers were in existence, and some of those led to some
Ben,
the
are you talking about
library is
jerking off?
experiences for our patrons and for our staff.
You know, you don't have to jerk off at the library, but that doesn't stop a lot of
From
people.
those experiences,
You don't have
You
to
guys
do
are-
anything, but it's like a one place where you're not going to be judged for it. Most public
No.
places, you will be
as
judged.
you all know very
Right.
well. and
I've been
Speaking
I've
of
been
that,
dealing with
we have,
I've been
some
dealing
of
with
you
the
today
Brockton Public
at
Library
our
for work a
ribbon
lot.
cutting, this past
And that place, their libraries are
celebrated
amazing.
the opening of our Franklin Street door.
But the
We also
library
did some
director
community
there is
upgrades
the
at our
fucking
Francis
coolest
Perkins
dude in the
branch,
world.
which I'll go on in
He's
a
a super
moment
nice
ago.
guy. I walked into his
We
office
also
last
thought
year,
about going beyond our
and
walls,
his
thinking
whole
about
office is built around his
non-traditional lending,
his
things like
guitar.
library things, which I
And I was
will
like,
get
oh,
into
this is
in a
he's
moment, and
this is
really,
a cool dude. And then I
sought to
looked and he
find
had a
new and
ponytail,
exciting ways
and I
to
was like, yeah,
Oh,
this guy's
low
just
pony?
dying to play guitar
You're
right
still
now.
a
It was
Low
a
pony?
great pony,
and
a low
you're
gray
Oh.
still
pony.
serving our
Oh yeah,
community,
dude.
whether or not
It
we're
was,
in
That's
our
that guy is a
buildings.
he moonlights as a local sound
But
tech
speaking of physical
at your
skills,
favorite
we
venue.
sought to have a
Absolutely.
destination.
Here we
So
go.
we have
Look at
great
you got
destinations in our new
the
library
mobile
as our
edition.
Arthur and the
Ooh,
Martha
The library
Pappas
card right
Children's
there. Yeah,
Center,
this
which
is for
really
serious
an
library
amazing
people.
state-of-the-art library, and if you have children in
Yeah,
your life,
like,
I encourage you
who-
to bring them along.
So he alluded to somebody asking for this in December, and I'd like to know who that is, so I can send them a strongly worded email that you never do this again.
I'm gonna need to know where the giraffe is.
The idea that we need to invite people into our doors and say, "Come on in,"
Wow.
and we want you to be
This is
here,
good to know.
and you belong.
So I'll spill the beans a little bit here because I don't think this actually happened.
As I mentioned,
But I was looking for a long time into a story that Abby Hoffman, back when he was still in Worcester, tried to show a porno at the library as like a free speech stunt. and it was like a whole big shit show at the time. Would have been in like the early 60s. And I haven't been able to find any example of that happening. So, but it was Al Southwick who told me, and I don't know if you guys know who Al Southwick is, but he's like pretty legendary columnist at the Telegram, had been for a long time. And he told me that, but he was also like 100 years old, so maybe he was just a little confused. Entirely possible.
Back in 1962, Abby Hoffman showed a porno.
Yeah, I don't know. I really took him on face value and tried really hard to find that. Like, asked multiple people. I borrowed a book from Brendan. I still have it, by the way. I read the whole thing.
It's a great book. I mean, feel free to. I would love to make sure I know where it is, but feel free to circulate that. I feel like that's a weird.
Essentially,
that everybody needs.
Brendan is a library. Brendan, do you want to give a 10-minute PowerPoint right now?
I mean, no, I don't.
Melican's cool. She does cool shit.
That I will echo again in a few.
I had
a lot of
that's cool.
In our team services and attendance to team.
Did he say what up?
Came together with the creation of this safe.
The only ghosts that showed up were all the drifters that Mo Bergman's run over.
And think about both the intellectual learning as well as the social and emotional learning.
Humor.
Yeah. Mo Bergman has taken the city's homeless problem into his own hands. Parody.
And under his own wheels. Satire.
Yeah.
Innovation Center, our digital studio, our computer lab, and
he does seem like a great guy. But if we're not gonna,
section you walk right into as soon as you walk up,
dunk on dweeb energy on the show, then what the hell are we doing?
Yeah,
kind of what we're here for.
Yeah, sincerity.
That were sent around.
Like, if I love the library, and I'm sure this guy's doing a great job or whatever, but if I'm going to be subjected to one of the most boring 10-minute PowerPoint presentations of my entire life, I will make fun of the person giving it. This is just a fact that's going to happen. And, maybe after I'll just reconsider my policy of never jerking off at the library. See how it goes. This dude is still going. He's going to be going for another at least 6 minutes.
I think we do invite him on the show next week.
Yeah. Hey, we're like, hey, we didn't pay attention the first time you did this presentation. Can you do it again so we can make fun of you to your face?
And just keep him on mute the entire time?
Yeah, right.
but every once in a while,
yeah.
So he thinks we're listening.
Yeah. Right. And meanwhile, we're just like, look at this fucking guy. He just keeps talking about shit.
What was it like being in Weezer?
Finished last year. Being installed in the library.
Hell yeah, we're killing it. Yeah, we got good numbers tonight. 52 people. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us tonight. Yeah. Yeah,
this guy has like a Nick Kroll energy to him.
Public schools that help meet 4 different quadrants. And we're seeing huge growth in fact our Goddard
yeah, but like Abby Hoffman had a movie theater.
And
that he ran with what's his face?
Duddy Massad.
Duddy Massad, like the most mobbed up guy in Worcester history.
So who does all the work?
Convinced him to put up the cash to open an art house movie theater. I think it was Park Ave. It was like
They had openings for like French movies, like high art French movies in Worcester. And Duddy was just like, I don't know. How's your little theater going?
Duddy's like, listen, I got a lot of Coke money to throw around, so please pitch me.
English and 2 of our staff, not including those 22, an additional.
This is objectively the coolest place to be on a Tuesday night in Worcester, Massachusetts. I will say
that.
Now that Abby Hoffman's porn theater is closed.
Yeah, and until I open mine, Abby Hoffman's porn theater 2.
Wait, when
and I'm not licensing shit.
Before they tore down the Paris, I really truly wanted to buy it and reopen it as the new Paris. But just show movies, but just lean into the fact that it was a porn theater.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I'll tell you right now, August 13th.
Quentin Tarantino did it in
into
LA. The New Beverly was a porn theater.
Block party.
That's super sick.
So you're all invited, and we'd love to have you there. We are starting.
When you go into Quentin Tarantino's theater, there's just like cameras that secretly capture foot level, so you can just look at everyone's feet as they come in and out of the theater.
What was this one called?
Programs,
the theater. The Bijou. What a great place.
Alan Fletcher's project
with our community during the pandemic has really yielded some amazing results.
You know what? Alan Fletcher should throw some money our way. I think it's about time he did that.
Right here.
Yeah. Just a damn movie theater.
Just give it to me. Trust me. I'll do something cool with it.
Council knows this very well, but for everyone who's watching, either
I'll commission a Turtle Boy statue that's 5 times as big.
or watching this,
Put it right next to it.
In the pandemic,
we do not have a theater in Worcester right now.
Though we do have a building that's being rehabilitated that has an art house theater in the back of it. And hopefully that is something that will stay. We'll rehabilitate. Yeah, the Paris. What's it called? The little theater.
Yeah, I was in there about a month ago. That building's fucked. But
yeah,
it's so incredible inside.
Which
little
theater are you talking about?
At the Odd.
Oh yeah.
The little the problem. I think I don't know. This isn't. No one told me this. So just going through there, it feels like the little theater is a tear down rebuild because it doesn't like.
As people were welcome back,
It's the layout's not good. The booth, you have to climb a ladder to get to the booth. So
that's such a shame.
It needs a different, but the space is so incredible. It's something there. I mean, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They're truly committed to doing something positive there. And they have a shitload of capital coming up behind them. So
yeah.
It feels like something's going to happen there, but I still think that we need something, a theater for live performance, for movies that is
very exciting,
fun and cool, and ideally used to be a porn theater. That's really what we're looking for.
Yes.
So one way that we don't want to lose anyone.
What is Worcester if not just a little bit seedy? You know, we need to preserve that seediness. It keeps us strong.
Thank you, Ben.
Service that gives you an instant access to e-cards. So if you are a college student working at 2 a.m. on that paper that's due at 8 a.m.
Holy shit! This is the most boring presentation I've ever seen in my life.
Have a library card.
Holy shit, bud.
Tom Bergman is quoting Richard Cipro for us.
Yeah.
This year we also launched a library of things.
That was
things that check out that you might
bought by. They were turning that into a concert venue at the beginning of 2020. That was being worked on, and that is not happening now, obviously. So I don't know because I've been looking into that. Very interested to find out
to launch that service.
What's going on there?
All about that on our website, or give our library a call, and we can tell you all.
You know what I think the city needs is more cockfighting.
This year we also launched.
I think that we would really benefit from that.
This is a partnership.
Indoor or outdoor? I mean, just taking the pandemic into account.
Library for the in this community.
Yeah, no, that's yes.
So you can
this is what needs to happen.
Real stories.
Bo Bergman, who is he speaking about? Just for the record,
stories that we can get from a national service that describe both the stories that that you may not be able to.
Mo Bergman wants Sarai to take the oath individually.
You're sick of reading that book to your child over and over again.
What oath?
We'll read the title
of
the book to your child over and over again. But it also helps our low.
It has not been 10 minutes.
And disabled communities who might.
It feels like a half hour.
Be able to experience that. And so
it's certainly longer than I've ever watched a porno.
Book library buckled and found exciting ways to engage.
Well, hey, listen, you got to pay the full ticket price, Bill. You don't get a refund if you leave after a few minutes.
Listen, I think that if I'm in and out of that porno in like a minute and a half, I should be able to get my money back.
But under 10 minutes.
Okay, you can have your money back for the ticket, but you got to buy a popcorn.
That's fine.
It's really.
I already bought the popcorn anyway. You know, that's kind of how you do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
I just wanted to just say how, how impressive this presentation is.
Oh my God. If they all go around and just use their full 5 minutes to say that they think the library is good. Oh, I swear to fucking God.
Is that a real fossil behind Councilor Rivera?
Often it's kind of
that is made out of clay.
That's a Pokemon.
That's actually the horn of Gondor, preserved in the muck that it was found in. And
will Holden come to our aid?
One day Rivera will call the Riders of Rohan
I think that's so important. I've worked with
for the left flank
for many
that
years.
they need
Even
for the
before
battle
it
for
had this
Minas
whole
Tirith.
makeover, that was an area where young people kind of got together, didn't have their computer, and were able to kind of contact home and also meet other people from their
She does look like she's intentionally showing it off.
children's department is amazing.
100%, she's showing that thing off.
She's a little bit off center, like
a
making
place
sure that's right there.
that
There's a
is
candle lit next to it,
everyone,
subtly
in the
drawing
city,
your
and I
eye.
really appreciate the effort. I was at a Dollars for Scholars event, and there was several people. One of your librarians was being honored, and like several people, of different kids already have grown. Me also can go. We're testifying and speaking.
Hey, remember the other
about
week
their
in
experience
Survivor
at the
Vera was like,
library and the
yes,
experience
and this
with their
council
staff and
item
this
reminds me
specific
of the
librarian and
wonderful
just in
sunset
general.
behind me
So that's
in
a
this
testament,
remote
like,
paradise
it
that I'm
really
in,
is something
wearing
that
my ridiculous head
historically,
wrap.
I
It
used
was
the
like,
library growing up. It was a
what the
big
hell is
resource
that?
in the community, and the
Like,
library was
there
really
really like some
nowhere
avant-garde uses
near
of
what it
remote
is
access
now.
going on here
So I just
between
wanna
her
really
doing
say
that
thank
and
you
Mo
to
Bergman
you,
just
to your
driving
staff.
around
I
in
know
his
that,
car.
y'all
The meeting is pretty
I
funny what
often
the
hear,
lengths they're going to.
folks, your staff,
Councilor Toomey showing
bragging
off the
about
painting she
what an
stole from the
awesome
Stuart
space
Gardner.
is.
It's amazing.
Happy
There's
about
little
being
threads
here.
around the edge. Why is
And I
that?
just, it's really.
I got
it's
this painting through
definitely
my
a
law
jewel
enforcement
of city,
family.
and thank you all for just really for your inclusivity for the work. And I really want to thank the city manager, because I know the city manager has like this like soft spot for libraries, and he's really done a great job. It's definitely
This comment has been
jewel
10
in our
minutes,
city
right?
and an attraction.
This feels
So
longer
just
than the
thank you, and
presentation.
this was a great presentation.
Thank you.
Councilor Aguirre?
Mr. Homer, I just wanted to thank you and your staff. I personally feel so appreciative of the fact that the library treats our unhoused community with such compassion and kindness, especially in this last few days where it's been so incredibly cold. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And then the one comment or question that I had is, given that we have new arrival of Afghan arrivals in Worcester, was wondering if you all have any plans to particularly offer a resource to the families that are coming into our city. And thank you again for all your work.
Wow, good question. Finally,
Look
something.
at that. Substantive. Wow,
So
crazy.
the very first meeting
In 45
that was
seconds.
held in person was held at the library, and I was able to speak to the group that was there, along with the mayor and a few other people. I do send one of our staff members to every outreach event that they have had, so that
Mo
they
Bergman,
have
you do
a
not
familiar
love it,
face. We are also very fortunate, as I mentioned
Bullshit.
earlier, with our languages. We do have two Afghani employees that in two different branches, so we're very excited to be able to have welcoming faces as well, because that's a very important part when you walk into a big building like the Worcester Public Library, which is the size of a city block. Being able to find faces that you can find comfort in is very important for us, even
my
behind
dad.
a mask. So we have made
my dad said I can own the poop chute, so it's pretty cool that your library is as big as a city
what
block.
libraries do. I will say that in that moment when I was speaking, it was really amazing to hear the translation of.
You know what else is the size of a city block?
The group.
The beer
Because
garden.
I know
So
that my translator was adding more.
You know, what else is the size of a city block? The
libraries
black,
and
gray
being able to recognize
AT&T
some of
building
those
that
words
has
very
2 little servers in
exciting
it
to
at
me.
this
So we've
point,
made
but
a real effort to make sure they were always present.
completely
so that we can
throttles
say,
the neighborhood
"Welcome,
around it
you
in
are
terms
here,
of urban
this is
density or
your
ever being
library,"
like
as
fun to
much
be
as it
there
is
or safe
everyone
or
else's.
anything.
And
that
you have every right to be
that takes
here.
up a city
So
block
never
too.
ask you what your business is here other than
Yeah.
to assist
Oh,
you.
100%.
And so that was
yes,
one of our
None of this
resounding
is
message
rises
every
to the
time
level
we've
of
been
the
able to
normal
attend those
vitriol
events,
we
as
have.
well
We're
as
just
we've hosted a number of them.
we're just dunking on
and
this
continue to
dweeb.
work with,
Come
the
on, we're having a little
organizers.
fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no Council Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be quick. I just want to thank you and the city manager on behalf of the residents of District 1. Francis Perkins Library has had some
Yeah.
very terrific upgrades, parking lot, boiler, carpets.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's nice
very
to
cool.
see our branch libraries
Um,
continue to evolve and be
It's too
renovated
loud.
in the same
It
way
seems pretty quiet
that
to
the main
me.
library is too. So I want to thank you all for your efforts there as well. Thanks so much.
Or like loud in the sense of just being too
in general, like on Instagram.
just
Mr.
too
Homer, I just
yeah.
want to say
He's just-
thank you too, and you, the manager, and the city council, for supporting the expansion of the library. And
I'm the director of the
Man,
library, and I can't even fucking read. So
Rest
I'm
in
an
peace to
inspiration
Vine.
to everybody. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to be literate.
One of those things that you're really proud of. So thank you very much.
Jenny had to
Mr.
step
Mayor,
away
you
for a
wanna say
second. It's her bedtime, and she has to go
Yeah.
ask for permission to stay
The
up.
only thing I'd add
Yeah.
is again, thanks to the council for supporting these
I
renovations.
mean, I miss Vine so
You know, in
much.
the midst of building
Yeah.
a ballpark. And
I think like
doing,
my last
park
thought
renovations,
before I
some things
die
that
is
are
going to
maybe
be,
more visible.
I smell like
There's
beef.
probably nothing that makes me prouder.
I smell like
than the renovations
beef.
of the library.
Yeah, when I'm
because you can
an
see how they
invalid,
impact
like
people's lives.
just laying
Every type
in
of
bed all
person,
day, I'm going to be
every
watching
type of
Vine
background, every
compilations on
age
YouTube.
category
Yeah.
in Worcester Public
Hey, come
Library.
get y'all's juice.
And they're constantly trying to evolve.
That's the best
Library of Things, I think, is a awesome.
Yelling World Star when
way
there's
to
a fight
continue
is
to
cool,
reach
but
out
like
and
there
let
aren't
people
always fights. There's
explore
always somebody doing
hobbies,
stupid shit in
interests,
public that you can just
potential
do it for the Vine and move on with your
getting
day.
access
And
to
yeah,
it.
we don't have that
right,
anymore.
right.
Couldn't afford to see if they have
Yeah, Vine
interest
really
in that area. And I
was
would
like,
also just say leadership matters, and Jason's been
it wasn't around long enough. It really would have taken over the internet eventually, I think.
He's locked in for the next 35 years.
Too
as
diverse.
the
They couldn't let
library
it
director,
keep
so,
going.
he's going to be here for a long time.
Ed looks like he's selling boat insurance for a living. Yeah, well, his job is not very different. Honestly.
It's not that.
He manages a tax break vending machine.
Mr. Homer come in and then explain a little more detail what's going on in the library. Give you an item in your committee, if that's okay.
Oh my God, Travis is obsessed with
So we'll
TikTok.
send that to the education
Good
committee.
Lord, bought and
No
sold for, bought and paid
unexpected.
for by Xi Jinping.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jesus.
Gloria,
Yes.
Move to Beijing.
the king.
Yes.
Try to get into TikTok, but I gotta be honest with you, I just don't care what people in Florida are doing, and that is a barrier for me.
My
Yes.
least favorite part about TikTok is like all the 17-year-olds that just read Das Kapital and like, or just do like these super pretentious like videos about the CIA that are half accurate. Really can't stand that. TikTok leftism, boo.
That's what's up, Molly
Yes.
Cronin.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay, 11.29A, transmitting information communication relative to the
Done with the
fiscal year
library.
2022
Wow.
financial update as of November 30th, 2021.
Survived.
I feel like I read a
We
fucking
can
book.
send that to MO. That's okay.
The only
So,
thing worse than
this is
reading a
going pretty
book
good.
was
So thank you,
listening to
Mr.
that
McCarthy.
presentation.
Appreciate it. On the financial update, and send that to MO. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
And if he doesn't, who does?
Councilor Gio,
Yeah.
Councilor King,
Mayor Putty.
Yes.
Councilor Thompson,
Let me write that down. We need that's
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
that's Joe's new name
Yes.
on here.
Mayor
Mayor Putty.
Putty is
Yes.
so good.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey, Councilor Toomey,
This
Yes.
is what I mean. Jimmy Cash. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I mopped,
We have the
and a kid
finance
said
items.
something to me.
What we usually do here is just
Great.
vote the finance items.
Yeah,
Someone
but you
wants
know
to
what?
pull one out
He's
and
doing
discuss it. We can do that.
It
I
might be
love Jimmy
shameless,
Cash.
but
So
he's
I'll do
doing
them
it.
So
since we're
goddamn funny.
virtual.
One of my
do them
favorite people in
collectively.
the world. So
Yeah, he's
fucking
great.
funny. It's insane.
11.35A through R, 11.36A through F minus B, which we already did.
My drag name was Ariel Grande.
11.37
That's what I
through F.
decided.
Oh, I like that. Mine would be Billie Eyelash.
The motions adopted in the roll call.
I think that'd be pretty cute.
Roll call.
I like that.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Yeah,
Gloria?
that's true.
Yes.
GA?
Mayor Putty forever.
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson?
Yes.
It's just so
Councilmember
good.
Yan?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Putty.
Yes. Okay, we're on Chairman's Order 12A to 12G.
Oh boy, here we go.
Motion
Now
is
we're
to
having
adopt,
fun.
along with 13A from Public Safety. Motion is to adopt. Roll.
He's not even going to read the thing?
Yes.
Councilor Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor GA?
I need to get a less
Mr. Chair,
loud
could you
mouse.
repeat that again, what numbers we're voting on?
We are on 12A to 12G and 13A.
I thought they held 12A.
No,
Okay.
there's
Councilor
there's 16A is the
Yes.
actual action part of that.
Councilmember Carlson?
12A is
Yeah.
just like an informational
Councilor Nguyen?
thing.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Yeah, Jenny Pacillo's thing is actually 16A,
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
but
And Mayor Putty.
the way it's written on the agenda is
You're on 14A.
predictably confusing and vague, so I wouldn't blame you for not knowing that.
The city manager provide the city council with an update concerning the report requested in
Just gonna
September
leave this one up
of
again for a minute.
2021 relative to the rodent eradication plan, including
Makes
the
me happy.
hotspots of concerns, Council.
Oh, where are the hot spots of rodent
Thank
concern?
you. I know
Oh,
I put this on the agenda before and.
Donna Calorio
just
says, where are those
recently,
rats? I want to go fuck them.
Several phone calls with rat infestation around the city. And one of the things that I would like, I brought it up
That
again,
was-
is
that
because
was
as we approach
Unnecessary comment.
budget season, I would like to have I'd like the city manager to consider incorporating a.
It's about to be
rodent- and
Ratatouille
a
up in
well,
this.
I'm not sure the proper term, a rodent, basically an expert. The rodent problem in the city in some
Donna
areas, not
Calorio
all,
could
and there
not
are hotspots,
be
and that's
using
why
a
I
worse
was
camera
very
angle for
specific with this,
herself right now,
a health
honestly.
issue.
Like,
Many residents that I've spoke to don't have the resources, the money to get an exterminator. So they
she looks
set
like the
traps,
witch from
they try
Spirited
to do
Away
what they
right
can, specifically in
Been at this
Councilor
shit for
Rose's
2
district.
years,
I've
and
heard a
people
lot
still
up
don't
in
know how
the
to set up a
Bronco
fucking
area,
camera. It's
with the
Flo
county
Paquito tried to teach
Right.
them. Should have locked her
so
out.
with the multiple in
if I put
positive
my laptop
construction
anywhere
projects
else,
that we have
I
throughout the
can't read
city,
the font
I think it's really
on my
important
document
that
of
we
notes.
develop a plan.
And there's no way to make the font
and
bigger.
we work
So
on
I have to
like
keep it
our
right under
contractual,
my chin.
Issues with the different people that are
Yeah,
going to be
rodent
building
problem.
and disturbing, the rodents' homes throughout the city.
We
So
at Mo Bergman,
we
rats.
can say
That's the
with
word we'll
confidence
use. Rats, right.
we are going to have a
You've killed
construction problem,
rats.
project, I'm
Right,
sorry.
right.
No
And
real person
the company
involved.
that's going to do it, whether it's utility company, whether it's private company, or whether it's a city, will have a plan of action to address the rodents. So this is to ask the city manager for a report, what he has, what he can see, if there is a possibility of putting someone in place. And I know we've talked about it, but every time I get a multitude
Putting
of
someone in
calls,
place?
I figured I bring it up and we can have another discussion on it. Thank you.
Mr. Manager, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, I appreciate Council Calorio putting this back on. It is something we've been working on the January 25th manager's calendar. It's our plan to bring back a comprehensive report. We've been working in an interdepartmental way with DPW, Public Health, Inspectional Services. So we will have a plan that I think responds to all the suggestions as well as some new suggestions that the team has come up with.
Ooh, I have a
including public
suggestion.
education
What if you put
campaign
rats
about
on
things that residents
spikes
may do that
outside
can
of City
sometimes
Hall
inadvertently
and on
kind of
the
track some of
bridge
these,
to
whether it be bird
Shrewsbury
feeders or other
to
things.
make
So,
sure the rats know
we'll have
to
a
stay away?
comprehensive plan for the council to consider on the January.
Dude, look at Ed's camera angle. He's like, look at all my books. I'm so well read. I love history.
Councilor Rivera,
Look at these
followed by
books.
Councilor Rose.
Yeah, I just want to thank.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Calorio, you all set?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Rivera.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank Councilor
Yeah,
Colorio. This is a
Worcester's just going to
good
hire
order.
Dale Gribble.
You know, this really is, you know, definitely quality of life, but a significant public health issue. And I think from some of the conversations I've had in community as well, you know, one of the things is, you know, there's it's
Yeah, we
really
need a rodent
difficult
consultant.
just certain kinds of
you mean
rodents
Mayor
that we
Pete?
have, you know, the field mice aren't just because of like dirtiness or whatever. There, you know, when construction happens, it disrupts neighborhoods, communities, and it also, you know, and it is
And the
it
rat
is a
communities
health
as well.
hazard.
I
It
mean,
is a
you got to
public
think
health
about
hazard. And
their
also there's
neighborhoods and their
affordability.
communities.
In order to keep up with
Yeah, he gets sold a full set of encyclopedias by a developer.
I mean, I've had conversations with inspectional
I
services.
bought that issue by issue at
You'd
the
have to
Big
have
D
like
back in
persistent
1983.
every couple months.
I don't
or
know
every
if
3
I've ever
months,
seen
like
a
these
rat in
types of
Worcester.
like exterminations.
I know
which
they're
are
around, but
extremely costly, and it's not something that is that's affordable. So I think
Bill,
you
you
know,
missed
I
it.
this is a great order, and I
What?
think as
Oh,
we look
yeah.
at
That's so
again,
good.
you know,
Yes,
the
yes.
quality of life and the health of communities, individuals, communities, and neighborhoods.
I'm pretty
This
sure
is
it got
something to
wild
really
with the
consider,
rats,
and thank you for the
in particular
administration
when they started the
for, you know,
construction of the
their
ballpark,
diligence and
and then
working
just
on
never
this.
really
It's gonna
settled down. But
be a huge
Oh, right. That would make sense.
People in
impact
Burncoat
for our
complain about them a
community.
lot
And I
lately
think
too.
holding kind of folks that are doing the construction accountable, I really appreciate that. So
I got a
I
hawk in my
you know,
backyard, so
love
I'm
to
fine.
sign on to this order.
Councilor Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd also like to
Yeah,
sign
mice a
on to
lot,
this order. In terms of hotspots in District 1, as Councilor Rivera was referencing and as Councilor Colorio mentioned, there's direct correlation between these hotspots and where construction or is happening or redevelopment is occurring. So I very much look forward to the report. Thank the administration for putting it together. Be something really nice to be able to share in our neighborhood meetings in the coming weeks and months. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Tui.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to sign on to this as well. I've filed orders requesting and talked to the commissioner.
There's like a weird reflection in that painting. It looks like there's like a specter.
Several times.
Like
Yeah, it's
hovering
wicked
over Kate.
haunted.
Yeah.
It honestly looks like there's a guy holding the camera.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
I want to sign on to.
Okay, so we'll send that to the manager.
Whoa, you see that? Her camera just moved.
Right when you said that, Bill, that's.
I think her husband is holding the camera. Wait, that kind of blew my mind. Like he's just sitting there like this. Like
Councilmember Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Toomey,
Yes.
Mayor Petty.
Yes.
Yes, request the manager
Please,
to provide counsel to report
please buy
concerning
things
number
from
of homeless
buy things on
individuals in
Etsy
the
from Kate
18,
Toomey.
19, 20, and 21.
what you should really do is buy things from Crafty Kombucha.
Yes, thank you.
Our sponsor who
There,
doesn't represent
my
our
observation and
political
other people's
opinions,
observations
but
that
sort of
our
does.
homeless population is growing,
And,
whether it is or not.
and you can
I
find
would
it
like
at anywhere you
more
can
data
find
than I
your
can
favorite drinks
actually,
pretty much in Worcester. So go
talk
and
to
get
my
those drinks.
constituents about and speak to them. And one of the things that I have
Did you?
seen,
You know what's crazy?
and,
if you spread the
just
mayor
my,
out on
like
top
to
of
say, my
a newspaper, you
observation
can pick up the
is
comics.
that some of the areas where the homeless are
Mayor Putty,
stationed,
he's so silly.
one in particular, the lower Lincoln Street island there, it can be very dangerous. And just recently, in the last week, it's those of you that know who the homeless people are in different areas. That
Oh, shut
woman
the
did
fuck
get
up.
hit by a car. She did end up in the hospital. She has multiple issues. She's as thin as can be, so she broke bones. She did pelvic. It was just.
There's nothing I want to hear
insurmountable
less
damage to
than
her.
Donna Colorio's opinion
So
on
I
the
think
homelessness crisis. Like
as we move
there is
It's
forward,
very
literally-
early in,
we look
so
at
early in
some
the
of
year to be hearing a
programs that are
conversation
working,
about
some of the things
houselessness that
are
involves
not
everything
working,
but
and look
giving
at the
people
numbers
houses.
and see where they're
Yeah.
at. That maybe there may be some other options to keep
Yes,
our
on
people, to keep our homeless safe, to keep the people driving safe, and just an all around more of an overall sort of program that we can look at. So first of all, if we can get a simple, just the numbers, Mr. Manager, just to get the
This
numbers
is so
first,
fucking
and see where we're
annoying.
going and
Worcester
where
keeps track
maybe
of
the issues
its
are.
chronically
Thank you.
unhoused population.
Send that to the manager.
In a very detailed way. She could have just asked him for the data.
Councilor Bergman?
This is so stupid. What is
And
like?
also,
What is she posturing?
She made sure to be like, which programs are working, which ones aren't working.
Yes.
Because
Which ones aren't
that's what it's
working.
about. It's about
Yeah.
eliminating.
Right.
Councilor
Like
Rivera?
Christian King's just laughing at her. Like,
Rose?
what the hell,
Yes.
you idiot?
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
The movie
Mayor
Soylent
Petty?
Green was set in
Yes.
2020,
14C,
so that can
request
officially
city
be our
manager request
solution to
Commissioner
every
of Health
problem
and Human
this year,
Services
but only
provide
this
the
year.
City Council with a report concerning number of deaths in the city in 2020 and 2021 related to drug
Ride the free
overdoses,
bus.
detailing the drug. Council Florio.
Yes, this is another tool that I would appreciate if we could have, we can look at the numbers here. I
Or
believe,
you could just
and
fucking
we've talked
Google
about
them.
this on the floor before, is that because
Donna
of
doesn't know.
COVID, we've had a lot of people in isolations, a lot of people that have overdosed, and it would be good to.
It's just
really
so
kind of
annoying to
break
see
it down a
someone
little bit
pretend to
and
care
look at
about this
where
shit,
the
like in such a
deaths are
craven
occurring. Is
way.
it fentanyl?
Yeah.
Is it, heroin? What exactly is the drug that's being associated with this? So this is another tool. If we can get this whenever, we can get it as soon as possible, so then we can look at these numbers and maybe have a more comprehensive plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, so send it to the manager. Roll call.
Yeah.
Councilor Bergman?
Yeah, I'd like for the city manager to just quickly Google information that's posted weekly by the state Department of Public Health.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Haji?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Dipshit.
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor
Yeah, you
Rose?
can go on the state's Department of Public Health, and there's
Russell?
quarterly
Yes.
updates.
Councilor Toomey?
There's information statewide
Mayor
that's
Petty?
posted like every week.
What is this light going on?
14D,
It's
request
a
the
rice
city
room.
manager requests the Public Works and Parks consider repaving Lake Ave. due to
Candle fell over. She's on
deterioration
fire.
From numerous street openings. Council Toomey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to amend to add, also due to the increase in truck traffic. I know that that's had a heavy toll on the road, as well as the numerous street openings.
Huh?
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Carol Council.
Yes,
What?
I'd also like to see maybe amend this as well. Yes, the road is deteriorating, but there's an awful lot of pedestrian accidents down there, as well as accidents happening on Lake Ave. So at the time of this being repaved, we should certainly look at traffic calming.
See these camera
measures
angles, like
as
Candy
well
Carlson
as,
found a way to make herself look like Darth
pedestrian
Sidious.
Safety issues.
Like,
There's a constant.
and she doesn't, but she's just.
Complaint down there that the road
I don't
and
know.
the
I guess
crosswalks
kudos for not giving a fuck, but
and
like it'd
all of
be
the
nice
above
if you
is
gave a
real
fuck
problem
for
on
our sake.
Lake Ave. So
This is sometimes known as walking
yes,
into
it
each
does
other.
need to be repaved, but I think there's a lot more issues down
Pedestrian
there,
on pedestrian crime, you don't hear
in
about that a lot.
terms of public safety.
Underreported issue.
It's true.
Councilor Russell.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to sign on to this also. It's an item that's similar to I had my on, I think, during our last session. And I agree with Councilor Merrill Carlson that it needs to be more of a holistic approach to it also, just to see what we can do.
Do we think he put that
try
American
and,
flag back there
discourage,
when he was
the truck traffic that's
knew
really
he was going to be on camera down there?
overall, as well as
Oh, he brought
look
somebody
back
in to
to
stage
the
that room.
issue of construction
Yeah,
companies. and
somebody needs to.
utility
Can somebody
companies
screen grab this
digging up the
shot
street
right now?
and not putting it back together properly, or not standing behind their patches. So there's a bunch of different issues, and the same story. that
You
could be
zoom
said
in, and
about
it's just a map of
many
all the
our major
properties in
arteries.
the city that
I'd
he
like to
owns.
sign on to the item, and I thank Councilor Toomey for bringing it forward.
Thank you. So we can send it to the manager as amended.
Thank you.
Yes,
I can't wait till we get to Mo Bergman's idea for like a gift card for
Bergman?
local businesses, and
Yes.
just see how
Councilor
he
Caloria?
just like
Yes.
figures out how to make a gift card that you can only spend on small businesses in Worcester and have it be more than one business, like what his plan is for that. Because that's insane. That's really dumb.
Yeah, look at it's a xenomorph. It's a xenomorph. You can see it.
Instead of looking into the Foxable Casita as an affordable option to quickly building tiny houses. And the link is boxabi.com. Councilor Toomey.
What the
fuck?
This is dumb.
I actually, got sent to me by a constituent.
It's just
and
so
I did take a
fucking
look
stupid.
At it, and
this is
they're
so
actually very,
amazingly
affordable,
stupid.
Pre-made,
like
Mayor Putty endorses
tiny
casitas.
homes that are
Like-
all the.
I was
Art
raised
and
different growing up, but if I
kitchen,
was 16 years
equipment
old right
and
now, I would be
bathroom
calling
are
this
all
a
part of
very
it.
strong word
and
that
it's
starts
very
with
reasonable.
R.
And so I
This
know
is
we were looking
a
at tiny houses.
this is like
and I think that
one of the
part the
dumbest
reason we
ideas I've
haven't done
ever
it
seen
yet is
proposed.
Then because of
Let's contract a private
the,
company to build a bunch of tiny houses in Worcester somewhere, and then something will happen where we decide who gets to live in them, and then that fixes homelessness.
Somebody showed her an article.
And she puts
I think that,
it was absolutely based on
that's
being
how
showed an
they're
article
able
because she
to,
uses the
make
exact
them so
brand
quickly.
of
So
tiny houses.
worth looking into. And I
Like
think
there's
they're-
only
they're
one
much
manufacturer
cheaper
of tiny
than
houses in
building
America.
Hey,
wood
one of
structures.
her nieces or nephews is like doing this like mid-level marketing, selling tiny homes from this company.
Totally.
You're on mute, I think.
Totally. It's a multi-level marketing scheme, and she got sucked into it in like an email chain. She's like, "Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll throw this on the city council agenda."
Bo Mergen, she blocked me on
amendment
Twitter
to
as well until I
because
started
I'm
talking
not so
about it
sure across the
online,
state
and then
right
she
now, our
unblocked
zoning
me. on Twitter.
laws in many of these neighborhoods allow for the tiny houses. I know in many neighborhoods there's a certain amount of square footage that you need. So
They're not allowed anywhere.
I
To
think that
Councilor
this is a great idea.
Merrow's
I think
point,
we
it's-
also have to look at
Merrow
the
Carlson.
zoning.
The zoning doesn't
in
fit anywhere.
the city as well at the same time.
If they're traditional tiny houses on trailers, they're trailers. They're like
Mr. Chairman.
Hit her up on
I was
on
looking,
Etsy.
we actually had been presented a plan by the manager that they're going to be building tiny homes to address some of the homeless issues.
They're not
And,
tiny homes.
That plan was
Oh my God.
out, I think, out by Leicester. And that's already gone through the process. So I know that there's a lot of
camera
things that
moved
we
again.
need to do for.
She gets the most
tiny homes
votes
in other-
every single
other
election.
neighborhoods, but I believe that this plan
Like
We're being
was
so
approved and
stupid.
put forward.
She is so dumb.
She's
This is
gonna
a
jab it through
complete
her
waste of
ear.
time.
Just to pick up, I did want to make sure the council knew that we do have a project off of Stafford Street that's planned for the chronically homeless. It's part of our comprehensive strategy to create housing options, and this
That's
would be
because
the
there's
first
70,000
tiny homes
Toomeys in Worcester.
project for the chronically homeless in Massachusetts. So we will be kind of blazing the trail here, and I think it's a concept
you
that's
won't
going
be.
to work.
No, you fucking won't be.
Like on
Her
Lewis
husband
Street,
knows how to
more
hold a
congregate
camera, if you know what I
housing,
mean.
Individual units with shared space. So our
God.
homeless population is a monolith. Different folks are going to need different options. And I think by creating this tiny home village, if you will, with one building that will allow for, gatherings and, anything that community might want to do together.
Like
will
an
be
apartment
kind of a
building?
novel concept. So Worcester is going to
Well, he's
provide
thinking
tiny homes.
again.
and
They're
this,
not
as
they're
part of
monolith,
our
right? So he's
strategy
specifically
for,
targeting
dealing
the
with the homeless
underhoused
population. I
influencers
think,
that
if I'm
that
understanding
often
Council
travel through
Toomey
Worcester and whatnot,
correctly,
and they really
you're
like the
also
tiny house scene. They're
thinking
looking
about this
for
for the wider
the tiny house
population.
shanty towns that they can move into.
And so that would be something we could look into what the zoning allows or doesn't allow, and if that's a barrier to pursuing this. So.
Okay, so we can
As
send that
amended.
to the manager as amended. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor
Amazing.
Calorio,
Yes.
Councilor GA,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen,
Yes.
Councilor
Oh, well,
Rivera,
we can't
Councilor
build
Rose,
apartments
Yes.
for
Russell?
that people can afford. That's not how it works.
Yes.
It's the thing is you don't want
Mr. Mayor,
more people to have
just a point of information. I think when you
same
read
size of
the,
house as
the
you.
link to the
No.
Boston
You need to figure out a way to
The-
market.
We
it.
don't want
you had the
those
had
kind of
spelled
transients. We want the office worker transients
I think you said
that are going to be here for 2 years.
So
and that's the kind of transients we want. You're going to spend 50% of their income and commute for 2 miserable hours into Boston and then get so sick of it they leave.
Current rise in COVID-19 cases, including one.
But they'll have a
areas
dog
are
park.
being mostly impacted. What the data is showing regarding
They'll
vaccination.
take pictures at the
boosters,
donut shop.
as well as whether our communities are getting vaccinated and doing the booster. 3, how the rise.
I had a
in
very
cases
nice
impact
conversation
our
about
city
that
and
with
communities.
Josh Croakey.
City staff.
The Public Hearing podcast. That'll be out
campaigns,
next week.
vaccination,
Talked a lot
booster
about
clinics, and more.
the Worcester narrative renaissance and gentrification, and that sort of stuff, which was
Yeah,
fun.
you could do 14G together with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be
President
plugging
Major
Bill's new
works with
podcast at the end of the
task
show.
force
Make sure you
provides city
guys
council with an
check
updated
it
Oh
out.
yeah.
brief
Well, that
presentation
was for
concerning
a
COVID-19
podcast
data
of
and
his
important
called
information
Public
as to the
Hearing.
impact
okay.
of the rise in cases
But I do have a
and
new
on hospital
podcast.
Building a
staff,
podcast.
close response to COVID-19.
Got a whole
Wexford
freaking
Village
media.
sucks.
Yeah, thank you,
Fuck
Mr.
Wexford
Chairman.
Village.
I'll be brief because it pretty much is self-explanatory. As you know, we're definitely, going through a whole surge right now.
A ringing
hence the
endorsement, Bill.
virtual, and it's
Tom.
pretty serious.
Thanks, Tom.
Someone that we all know someone that I worked with in the
I'm
health
glad you thought it was
field
okay.
passed away this weekend.
Next
I've been
time,
on
keep it
calls
to yourself.
with people are just just exhausted,
It's fine. It'll be
emotionally
fine.
drained.
Low effort.
It's really taking a toll. So just really looking at
I've been really missing Highway 69.
this
so this
surge
will
right now that we're dealing
get me
with.
2/3 of
And
the way
at
there.
Time, I think
Yeah.
we saw the presentation from
That's-
the
yeah.
library's presentation. I think
Not Tom. You can't.
Mr.
You
Chairman,
can't
you
just
and I get
do
to
that.
kind of have
'Cause now I know how you really
Yeah,
feel.
the update every Thursday.
Stick to
when
your
we're
real-
having
guns,
a
Tom.
meeting
The
and we
real
really
Larry
get,
David situation you got yourself into.
There's so much
But
information constantly hitting us. I think it would be really beneficial to really look at. I think in the last equity task force that I was in,
Bill's first
we had
episode
a
is
PR
sponsored by
doc,
Fallon
come
Healthcare.
and talk.
Yes.
And some of the concerns that they're having
My first
regarding
episode is sponsored
not
by
only
Tenet
the rise in
Healthcare
cases and how
Corporation,
this rise
the
in
only
cases that
healthcare corporation to triple its share price during the course of a
the
global
fact that
pandemic.
people that are normally
no-
in need
with
of
no nurses
other
working.
medical care,
Yeah.
cardiac or cancer, whatever thing, like it's.
I'm going to
just
write a
people aren't
story
going
for
to
the
doctor, they're
Intercept,
not,
I think, about
certain
that
exams
whole
are
thing,
getting
which
pushed.
is
So,
exciting.
for example,
Little
colonoscopy.
teaser now.
Yeah,
what a fucking
colon
what a
cancer
fucking
is-
guy.
there's a lot of health disparity, especially among men
Talk
of
about
color.
rat fuckers.
But the colonoscopies have been pushed over. So that's something that's very preventable if you catch it in time. This is one example. It would be great to kind of be able to have a presentation.
Look,
regarding
as the
equity
elder
task force,
on this
because you
panel,
can
I will
see
chime in
a
right
lot
here.
of these questions that I
Because
talked
I'm at
about in
colonoscopy age now,
14F.
and so yeah, I booked my first one when I turned 45.
And how we
18
as a
months
city,
out.
there's so much
18
that
months
is being
to have-
done and so much that's
You know what kind
happening.
of torture that is to have to sit for 18 months
update us, with a
thinking
little
about a
brief presentation,
colonoscopy?
because I think as we're talking,
Worcester should have a
petitions
drive-in
here,
colonoscopy clinic by now.
All right, I'm going to
Fuck.
chime in with a unique experience. I've had two because I have some dietary or some ingestion. They're really not that bad. The worst part is the prep. And as long as you're smart about it and you put like your TV and your Xbox in your bathroom, you're going to have a fine night. It's just, you're just passing a lot of fluid.
Thanks for chiming in and all, but I still have to think about this for the next 18 months. I'd rather not. It would be nice if I could just book it, go in tomorrow, and
I'll think about it for you, Brendan.
Yeah.
Aw,
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Caloria,
that's so sweet.
It was nice.
Hey, you know what I was thinking about? You see all these, we're talking about influencers before. You always see people like will paint up like angel wings on the side of their building and people come flocking.
Yes.
What can we get somebody to paint up like devil wings on the side of a building in Worcester?
Sure.
That's fun, right? That's fun.
Yes.
Saints Possums. I'm really mad that you came up with a better name for my podcast than I did, and I'm pissed.
We'll probably take,
Not enough people, I don't think, would get it, but it is really good.
and Jay as well. Sorry.
The devils. Do zero devils have wings?
Families. And also provide
There's only
counsel
one devil.
concerning ways the city can best address the issue.
I mean,
of residents trash out
His
the
name's
day
Mo
before
Bergman.
it's picked up. Said action which may occur the evening before allows for
Tom in 508 just inflicting emotional and physical pain on the entire panel right now. Just through the colonoscopy without anesthesia.
Yeah,
just
so the person is
make
really
you feel
looking
bad
at,
about your new project.
I'm not talking to the city manager about this. Is
I was
really
just going to eat a
looking
bunch
at
of
some of
mushrooms.
the,
I mean, that
you
just
know,
seemed like the
I know
logical
that,
way to go.
especially
horrible
councils, we hear so many things. And it'd be great if we can kind of really look at, again, this goes back to kind of health, quality of life, but also public health. And if we could really look at being really specific, I know that
that's good for him.
this year,
The last time I went to the
city
dentist, they
manager
gave me
had done like
ketamine.
a clean team.
That's sick.
And
Wow.
we
It
had people
fucking
going out kind of like
was
the Park
incredible.
Stewards program, which was excellent. But really looking at like an ongoing projects that could be done.
This is good
I
advice.
know that in Boston they have a Love Your Block neighborhood cleanup.
I can get you some
the goal to
VHS head
unite
cleaner.
neighbors and communities through physical service engagement and youth
Bring it on.
development. And they have like sponsorships, so people, organizations, and companies. Sometimes they do in kind or they're volunteer.
Yeah, it was,
get kind of neighborhood, and sometimes you could just do.
It was
like
an incredible
block
experience.
by block.
I'm not a big drug guy,
I think
but
it was I
man,
don't know
that
if it was New
was so
Jersey or
great.
Philadelphia that they had kind of like they would have like
Anyone know what
neighborhood
Survivor is
groups,
talking
kind
about?
of like leaders, and they had competition, and then whatever neighborhood. Or
Oh yeah,
whatever
I
block
almost
kind of
picked up and threw the
won,
dentist.
They would kind of do a thing.
I
one
woke
day,
up in the
like,
middle
who
of
was
the
surgery
they
cleanest, or
were
who
doing
picked
on
up
me while I
they
was
would
on
have like a
ketamine and just started
neighborhood like
screaming.
pizza party or something that they can win. St. Paul, Minnesota has a Come Clean program and offers numbers of ways that supports residents who want to collect and prevent litter in their neighborhood.
She's just giving a
to
10-minute update on what's
participate.
going on in St.
And
Paul.
so they
Perfectly
kind of try
reasonable.
to address the ongoing trash and litter, and they actually have a really great program. You go there and you can definitely see how well it works. I've had an opportunity to visit there.
Oh wow!
The
Show
city
off.
encourages community
This is the
members
right time of
help
year to go to
clean,
Minnesota.
beautify, improve.
Definitely.
This is agenda
Come Clean
item.
program, what they do, they multiple ways to get involved.
It's on
So
trash.
basically, they encourage folks.
Hold on.
It's kind of
Let me get
like
you the number.
the
14J.
Earth Day, but it's an ongoing. So we're looking at what we do for Earth Day and ongoing. I mean, we
One of
as a
the favorite
city,
things
you
that
know,
Worcester
I
City
know
Council
that
likes to
our
do
Public
is
Works and our
complain
inspection
about
service, they
trash
do
in
great
like
work, but they shouldn't be
a very
responsible. We
diffuse
all
and
live
hard
here.
to
It's
act
about how
on
do we
way,
create a
where they're
way
just
where
sort of
we all
airing
can kind of
like
take
ambient grievances
ownership
about
of our
living in a
spaces.
city and there being trash in a city.
And
And then
you
we
know,
don't do
Crown
anything ever to
has
make
a
the
pickup
problem better,
trash
but
day. They
we get
send
to
emails to all the neighborhood, to
hear the
neighborhood in
counselors
Crown
say that
Hill,
it's a problem.
and they're
It's a
like,
really
Bill,
cool thing.
"Come out,
Almost
meet
100
neighbors,
people got the new
meet your
recycle
neighbors,
bins.
say hi to your
So
neighbors."
That's
They're
great.
good about social
At that rate, I'll have mine in
media
10
and,
years.
you know,
Well, that's
you
the
know,
whole
let's
thing,
see
right?
how
Like they're
much
talking
litter
about
you
innovative
use
solutions
of
for
your litter in your
trash in
area.
other
And
cities.
it's kind
Like
of just
we
taking
still
a look
haven't
at
started
like
with the basic
area
solution
block
that's
by
like 200
block
years
kind
old
of
of like the
thing.
city putting trash
I think
barrels
if
out
we
in
can
public
be
places,
really
so people just don't
aggressive
throw shit
in
on the
doing this,
ground.
we
Like
can
we can get innovative
really
after we
instill.
invent the wheel, or at least adopt the
Rwanda
wheel.
has a day every month where it's mandatory that
Well, we can't have
everyone
public trash cans
that
because we charge for trash
Saturday,
bags.
I
People
think
are just
it's a
going to put all the
Saturday,
trash in the
someone
public
usually
trash
has
cans.
to kind of like shut down and
I think
clean.
other
I'm not
cities have
saying they
figured
have
this
to go
out.
to that extreme,
yeah,
but
that's great.
if they don't, they even get a fine. I'm
That
not
is
saying they
so
automatic
cool.
rate, but
Could
it's
you
kind of like
please,
I
could you
love that.
please put me in
this
touch with them? That would be
mentality of
such a
like, this is
funny
our
story.
space, this is our earth.
Those are the ones that
How do
like
we
the
make
lids were
spaces
zip
I'm
tied
actually
on,
gonna,
right? It was
yeah,
like
I'm gonna
what we
message
don't
you
want
right
to do
now.
is
it was a little zip
normalize
tie
kind of
hinge.
the
They
sense of like trash and litter, debris, illegal dumping. So really,
Oh, that
I
makes
know
me so
that we have a
happy.
clean team. You know that our Keep Worcester Clean does really good program. And what I'm saying is not so much that it's not just the city's responsibility. How do we encourage residents, neighborhood, community, blocks to really be encouraged to kind of really look at how do I take ownership? So I take an example for Crown Hill that they do this often. They kind of started doing this among themselves.
Here we go. Shout out to that guy.
To look at working with the superintendent. This is another thing. There's different.
Well, that's good. They didn't
curriculum
skimp on the
package,
zip
and
ties.
this consists of
It's a
of
quality
different
zip tie
things from
hinge.
K to 12, and again, it's about how do we
He also should be able to
at,
shoot people if they don't do their
just from an
trash right.
eco perspective, right? How do we waste less? How do we not normalize that there's a mattress, that there's
when you're having a
bag
conversation with somebody at like a bar or something,
30 nip bottles,
and you're like
in an area that
on
should
your
be
fifth,
flower bed,
like,
and
whoa,
instead
that's
there's 30
crazy.
nip bottles.
And
So
they've already
there's
gotten their point across, but you have to keep listening because they just keep going on and on.
And feel
like
it's normalized.
Sarai Rivera does that
Mid-sized
every single
city, that
time
kinda comes with
she's
the
allowed to talk
territory.
at the city council.
I've seen cities that,
She goes on for such an obnoxiously long time without really saying anything.
kind of encourage this, so we
And I'm frustrated.
have a
I'm on like year 5 of
from a
this.
community.
I cannot fucking
Some
take it
places
anymore.
will do,
And
where
she's
they kind of
fine too. She's
supply
like
the gloves,
on the
just
better
kinda
side
like
of
birthday.
city
Yeah,
council.
And they get sponsors.
And after 5 years, you still don't know what kind of fossil
From
it
different
is.
companies to sponsor with the gloves of trash. And
Well, this is
then
the
they
first I'm
have
seeing of
they-
this.
They organize and they coordinate pickup. So that's kind
Like
of
they
what I'm
should
looking at.
have
How do
time
we do
limits,
that?
but
And so we can kind of encourage
Joe Petty does
our
not
neighborhood groups and our community block by
very
block
strict on
and-
enforcing them.
or neighborhood by neighborhood. And I think that would be a great
I do want to point out that
idea.
Bo Mergman just
I
told
think
us
that
where they
was
live.
the-
We're triangulating
last issue.
Bo Mergman.
Oh, and then the last thing is the trash, and that becomes I'm sure that I'm
Oh my
not the only
God.
district counselor that gets the calls and the emails,
Oh
and
my
I
God.
meant to actually circulate this, have this emailed out to other counselors because I know that this is something that we get calls on and we see, and so it's just a matter of just looking at the. Unfortunately, what happens is if the trash gets put out, too early. Talking about rodents and other animals getting it. And then when it gets open, be it an animal or whatever have you,
Right.
when trash comes.
That's somebody who fully understands the powers available to a city councilor. Yeah, let's
And
mandate
again, this
when
is
people
about,
put their trash out.
a health
Like that's
issue.
something that we
And
could
so we
possibly
can
achieve.
figure out,
Jesus.
ways that
Oh,
we can
Paquito.
really,
They do that, Bill. Have you ever
tackle
seen people get
this
get
issue.
tickets from the
I know that it
nuisance
might be
squad in the city
complaint
if you put your
driven
trash
or
out
Well,
too
yeah,
early.
but
kind of
if
like,
they've been
oh,
out
maybe it's
for
an
like
issue that we really need
days,
to address.
not the
No,
night
like if you
before,
just do
what
it,
she's talking
if you
about.
do it the night before,
God forbid
exactly.
This happens. And it's
No,
a
the night I've never
Wednesday,
gotten a
you
ticket for
have
putting
your
out the night
day
before.
You have your
I guess it
recycle
depends on the
out,
neighborhood.
you have your
Yes,
trash.
it happens.
Well, I've
I've
only lived in a neighborhood that City Hall actually cares about,
It's
like
all
for
over. It doesn't
a
get
couple of
picked up,
years.
and then it gets.
I live in
ticketed.
one where the City Hall
Does
does
get
not
ticketed.
care
I have seen
now.
the ticket, but
And
then that stays
you can
there
tell
for
there's
another
been a
few
pile
days
of trash
before
outside
it's
my house
actually
for like
addressed,
2 weeks.
or picked up, and that just gets.
And his
there
name
was
is Mo
there was-
Bergman.
Kind of really
Hey,
try to
remember like
be,
the only interesting
really
and
aggressive
insightful
to
question
deal with it.
that
I
has
think
been
it would
asked
be
this
great.
entire time, and
What
it
I'm
was
trying
by
to think the
Ittel,
message is
and
that,
that was like a
this is
half hour
our-
ago, and
this is our
nothing else has
city,
happened
this is our
since that's
community,
even
this is our neighborhood.
remotely
How
worth
do
paying
we-
attention
how
to.
do we work collectively
Yeah.
so we can have ownership of it, and how do we collectively work within the city and community?
Oh, we
so
got
they can see it
because we
something
live in
that's
snitch
sustainable,
neighborhoods.
something
That's what it is.
doable, that it's not that you have to walk by and see trash, litter,
Yo,
tire, nips, whatever.
straight
that
up,
is, but that is actually that we
shut the
can find in our
fuck
community,
up.
in our neighborhoods.
Like,
And if
holy
we can- I
shit!
know this
Like,
whole issue with trash bags or whatever, but we can
What are you
look
gonna
at
do,
not
Mo?
just having Earth Day, but
not I need to
being
comment.
aware
I'm
of
talking to
that,
Sarai. Like,
you know,
she really
Yeah.
needs
Earth
to
Day could be
end
more
this
expensive, but
spiel.
then we should be doing something.
I just am.
much more
For me,
broad.
with Mo
And I would
Bergman, it's
love to work with
fascinating
the
how
administration to see
wonderful
how
you
we
are
can
in
work
this
on
chat
projects
and
like
then
this.
out in the
Thank
world
you. That's a lot of
and on
information. So,
in these
thank you.
meetings.
Yeah, it's almost like we're your real friends, and out there you feel like you got to be someone
We
else.
will be coming back in early February with the law department's working on the final language around change to the ordinance so that we'll do just that, or recommend to the council that we begin to, instead of giving 7 days notice that there's a couch on the sidewalk or a mattress, that we basically give them a much shorter window, maybe 24 hours. And if it's not removed in that time, they get the fine. We pick up the mattress and then charge them for the
The
pickup
law
of that,
department.
similar to what we do with the snow shoveling ordinance. You have 10 hours after the
So just
snow
as long as they dump my
stops.
mattresses in front of my
If you
neighbor's
don't
house,
clear your
I'm
sidewalk,
cool.
we'll
Yeah.
come in
Yeah.
and clear it with a
Yeah,
contractor.
I mean, this is why
and
people
then
dump
charge
them
you
in
both
on the dirt
fine
roads
and the,
around town,
cost of
is so that
removing
they
the
don't
snow.
get.
I think that's
Like,
what I'm hearing from the
maybe
council. I
provide
think
people the
that's,
opportunity to
you
get
know,
rid of these
taking
things
it to a
instead
next
of
level
forcing
in
them
terms of
to
aggressiveness, so we
do
don't have
crime
stuff sitting
to
there for days
get a
until
mattress
somebody
outside of their house.
responds after the
Because that's not really fun
crime.
crime. Like
And,
nobody's just hauling
you know,
around
that many
mattresses
days
because
it has a
that's
chance
their
to
kink,
be,
right? Like
you
that's
know, impacted by animals.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Rain, snow, whatever else, and just make it a further.
You know what I think they should do for electronics, though,
let the
is
council
just
know that
have a
in the budget
sanction
last
place where
year,
teens
pooled
can
money about
smash them,
$25,000
like old TVs and stuff.
some of
You
the
know how
things
fun
that
that is.
Councilor Rivera is talking
And
about.
then that's
And my
like
hope
they
would
break
be,
it down
as we
and
get
have fun,
closer to the
and
spring
then
and the
you
weather
just pick it
starts
up and
getting better,
get rid of it.
we'll
It'd be great.
roll out a very quick
That's what I mean.
application
Yeah,
form
it's
and give it
just
to the
it's wild.
councilors so you can share it with
to
your
Yenny's
neighborhood
point
groups.
is just made.
The
We
people
actually just
could
got rid of
put
a
in
couple
for
coaches
small
that weren't
grants,
in condition to like donate
$200,
or anything, and
$150
the city was going to
to
take a
do
week
just
to
what
pick
the
them up
council is
and
talking
charge twice
about.
as much
We
as the
want to
trash
buy
guys who
gloves,
just came the
wigs.
next
We
morning.
want to do a pizza party for the neighborhood after the cleanup day. Coffee and bagels before
Pizza
people
party,
start out in the
great.
morning.
Thanks,
Things to
Ed.
encourage that sense of community and
Oh
that
my
sense
God.
of everybody kind of pitching in. And
He's
doing
literally
their
doing
thing.
the shitty boss
And
meme.
we've got a small amount of money to try to support that.
I've been to
And
Smash
I think
It.
$25,000 will go fairly far.
It's a great time.
It doesn't take much to.
I want to go to that. It seems
support
fun.
some of these efforts.
It's
And
really
we'll
great.
be continuing with the Chamber of the United Way on the Green Corps, which
APA.
I think has been successful. It's
All right, I'll
another
be back
way
in
to
a
give
little,
kids summer
little couple
jobs.
seconds.
It's been extended
Worcester
beyond
needs
just
one of
the
those
summer. The kids have been
dragons that they
working,
use up in
into the
Canada,
school
where it's just
year,
a
and
giant
they've been
truck-mounted
really able to
flamethrower
tackle some of
that
the
melts
real
all the snow on the
problematic
sidewalks.
areas that seem to
That's
come up on the
Carzilla,
radar
Brendan. You're
on and
thinking-
on.
That's at
And so
Monster
keeping
Trucks.
them working,
Canada has
I
one
think
too.
will continue to make a difference as well.
That is an absolutely good point. I
Russell.
forgot about that. You
Chairman,
can get them to
Chairman,
take
I
your
would
stuff.
ask,
The
first of all,
only issue I will say is
sign
that
on
very
to these
often
items
outside of their
also.
building
They're
out back,
excellent
it's just
items, and I want to commend
electronics
Councilor
everywhere.
Rivera for bringing them forward.
Everywhere.
I do want to make a comment.
Yeah, they
Mr. Chairman,
were
if I can.
incredible. We had a blast there.
You know, Friday is a pickup.
They give you-
pickup
yeah,
for
there we go.
a large portion of District 3. And this Friday we had a snowstorm. And
did we?
You know, you will not find harder working public employees than our folks in the sanitation department. You see them out there in the middle of a snowstorm, going up and down the streets and coming back the next day when they weren't able to complete the whole area. You know, the same could be said for the
good
folks
news,
at
everybody.
Casella that picked up the recycling and came back multiple days after. Commissioner Fink and the assistant commissioner and their staff fielded complaints and constituent calls, even on Sundays. And I just want to commend them for that effort and say that these items should not be viewed by anyone as any kind of a criticism on that department, because these folks are doing wonderful work there, but they need to know when there's an issue. Same thing goes for our code department. They need to know when there's a lot.
My street was straight ice for 2 days.
You know, it's just not kept. Mr. Chairman, about a year ago,
Doesn't snow often around here.
2 years ago,
Yeah, the
I
pickup.
had
There's a
an item
pickup
that,
truck plow
I
that
put
came by
forward,
once
I
during the
hope that the
storm
managers,
and did a
package
one
that
line
he
down the
comes in
middle
with,
of the street, like,
in the upcoming
and
week or
then
two, will
nothing
include
for
a
a
response
while.
to the item that I had on about asking for an app to basically just to allow your location on your smartphone. Everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody's got one in their pocket. All
Everybody.
they have to do is allow their location and allow to feed that information to our customer service team. So whether it's an overgrown yard, whether it's a mattress in the yard, whether it's
I thought we were trying to get rid of rats in the city.
trash bags that are not picked up, whatever it may be. All they need to do is to be able to snap
These
a
folks
picture
get
of it and allow their location and allow that information to go forward. It's an item that I put on the agenda probably going on 2 years ago. I think it was co-sponsored, in fact, by the entire city council. I'm hoping that the
Everybody's got a
administration will,
smartphone. We should have voter
will
ID
come
laws.
back and
Everyone's got
have
an ID.
either that or something very, very close to it.
Everyone's got
that
one.
allows this to happen, because Councilor Rivera is right. This is not just the responsibility of the employees in the sanitation department or the code department. It's the responsibility of all of us, all of our citizens. And we need an easy way for them to communicate and sometimes anonymously, because sometimes people don't want to give their name or make a phone call. But if we have that an app on a phone, like we had talked about before, it would just streamline that process.
Yeah, but he's not talking about them. He's talking about everybody.
Cool homeowner people.
Our departments do a great job, but they need to know the locations. They need to know the information, and it's all of our responsibility to get them that.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Toomey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to sign on to all three. I know all of my colleagues have gotten up several times over the past few years complaining
Pillow
about
is definitely available
the need
at
for
a shop.
these types of things. One thing I wanted to mention
100%
as well
you see
is
City
that
Hall,
not only
the
small
Elm Park
pets,
Bridge,
but we also in certain
An
areas of the
unplowed
city
street.
we see
Big
horrifying
chicken
ghost
bones.
coyotes, and that's been an issue around where I live as well. And perhaps we could also add information about how to prevent them from coming. I know that I had to educate a lot of folks about how to prevent
the
animals
Burn Code
from,
Facebook group,
especially the coyotes, from being attracted to the trash. I know there are also some folks that, because of their job or whatever, do have permission, I guess, to put out the trash the night before. I don't know if that's policy is going forward or not, but maybe we need to take a
trash
look at the
bins.
policy.
Give us bins.
I tried to get into the burn coat group, but they wouldn't let me.
We'll send that to the manager as amended.
Bill, which one? There are several.
Councilor Hyde,
I'm inviting you to all of them right now.
To sign on, or?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a friendly amendment. Just
Friendly amendment.
Councilor Nguyen, go ahead.
There are three.
So I just want to make sure that what we do has economic justice involved with what we're doing. And so I would like to ensure that we have stipends and really amend that in there. And that when we have campaigns, that it has some meaningful campaign that includes climate justice.
Okay, that was weird.
Well, we're talking about anti-litter and our environment.
Can you hear us now?
Oh, what's happening?
Send that along to that order with the one by the council. Okay, so roll call. I think everybody wanted
City
to
council
sign on,
fit.
Right? Rivera's honest. I get that. So, okay, roll call.
Councilor Bergman,
Yes.
Councilor Caloria,
Yes.
Councilor G. Councilor King,
Yes.
Councilor Carlson,
Yes.
Councilor Ian,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes. Request the manager consider applying for a grant from the
This guy's getting attacked by an animal.
enhancing
Yeah.
monitoring.
not attacked.
communities
Something
of
else
health
is
and
happening.
disparities.
One of the coyotes
from the
that
COVID-19
Kate Toomey was
pandemic.
talking about.
Council Toomey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had received an email from Valerie Cardozo,
Look
the
at
Deputy
the
Director of
dog.
Environmental Justice
Won't
from
get down.
the Executive Office
That
of
dog might
Energy
be
and
humping.
Environmental
That
Affairs
is-
in Boston about this program. And I did send a copy of the flyer to all my colleagues.
No, Councilor Rivera
and
did not
to,
just hit her
the
dog.
Manager, I think I sent a text message.
That would be
to
awful if
him
we
as
spread
well,
that
so
rumor.
he
We
had
really
it. I
shouldn't
didn't
do
realize
that.
it wasn't included in the package. But this is a grant competition. There's
Yes.
$20 million from the ARPA.
I really want to see that little
The
girl
EPA is
walk
opening
out of that painting like the
up,
ring.
the competition to enhance the ambient
grab
air
Kate
monitoring
Toomey by the
activities
back of
to
the
help
head.
overcome disparities from pollution and COVID-19 pandemic. Any project to support, develop, or establish ambient air monitoring of pollutants in communities with environmental and health outcome disparities stemming from pollution in the COVID-19 pandemic projects would be considered. An applicant.
You know what's funny
must address
is
one or more of the
if we
following
literally had a dog
particle pollution,
as the mayor,
ultrafine PM
the city would
2.5
continue
or
to
PM10,
function in the
hazardous
same
air
exact way.
pollution,
Yeah.
Nothing would
carbon
change
monoxide,
at all.
lead,
I think I mentioned to you this the first time I was on with you, but Talkeetna, Alaska had a cat for a mayor. He died 2 or 3 years ago, but Stubbs was his name, Mayor Stubbs, and he just sat on a pole all day. And it was like, but I mean, they had like bureaucracy and whatnot. Like people made sure up there they actually pick up the trash and they plow streets and whatnot. But I mean, they realized, like a lot of the stuff you'd have a mayor do. A cat can kind of do the same thing. It's tourists come by, take your pictures with it, just like the mayor. It's
I mean, yeah, because
in the summer,
like being a mayor is essentially just licking hands and smothering babies. So cats are great at that.
We have throughout the city.
Like, and you got to be photogenic at those ribbon cuttings and those golden shovel ceremonies. And who better than a cat?
Nobody
to do that.
That's true.
Especially in some of our.
It might not be able to cut a ribbon, but it can chase one.
Economically neighborhoods
up and down the walls and shit.
And so I think this would be a really great thing to apply for and hopefully win because it really needs to be done. So I hope that you consider
I forgot what I was talking about.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilor Aguiar?
Thank you.
He hesitated.
For this order, if I could offer a friendly amendment as well. The Mothers Up Front chapter, our local chapter, has been doing a lot of work around gas leaks. We have a science citizen curriculum, have been including families and children.
Jess and I would officially like to offer up our cat to be mayor.
That are detrimental to the health of our kids and the environment.
Is as white as Mayor Petty. He's as hairless as Mayor Petty. I think
might potentially enhance our ability to show that we've been doing some really good organizing around it. And
I didn't listen
to that work.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll send that to manager as amended.
Kate Toomey's item is just like, I just heard about this thing called environmental activism.
Yeah.
And I think we should start doing that in Worcester.
I apologize. I was on mute.
Okay.
You were hitting
I was
your
on
dog.
mute because my dog bit my throat.
Yes, go ahead.
Councilor Calorio.
Hey, Deets.
Hey.
Hajia.
Lindita?
Yes.
It's Deets. Deets.
Councilor Carlson.
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
Yes.
Through the chair.
Yeah.
Hey, what everyone have for dinner?
Yes.
Toomey.
Tacos.
Yes.
Haven't gotten there yet.
You haven't had dinner yet?
Of course, the manager requests
That's very European of you.
I hold off until I'm done with you.
Intersection of Brow Street,
Wow.
Main Street, and Home Street.
If I did this shit hungry,
he's gonna eat ham at 10 p.m.
On traffic patterns, Councilor Rose.
if I did this stream hungry, I'd
Thank you,
rip
Mr.
my
Chairman.
face.
To clarify the silver piece, I learned.
I've got some
while
carrots
sitting
and
on the
hummus
topic
over here
of
next to
committee
me. Been
that
kind
in some
of
areas
shoving those in my
the
face when no
traffic
one's
is
looking.
slow,
But
because of
the
pandemic.
crunchiest snack
So I'll
possible
leave it up to
on the stream.
engineering, to
Yep.
decide
Travis
and
really,
hopefully
really
move
leaning
forward
into
with
living in
study.
Tatnick.
This was a request
Wow.
of neighbors over here in and around when the pandemic began.
there was a thread on
concerns
Nextdoor.com over the
obviously
weekend that
potential
was started by
development
one of my
in the
childhood best
market,
friend's
the
elderly
concern
father.
over there of the
And it was just a
train
rant
and
about how
other
Nancy
issues and
Jenks is
safety
too
as
expensive.
an area where
Bus stop. I just found it so hilarious. It was like people actually have the time in their lives to complain about the price of shitty Chinese food in Tatnick Square.
going on over
Amazing.
there, to identify, how things can be.
Well, Bergman's eating swole elders.
Thank you.
Thanks, Fallon.
To the manager, roll call.
It's so funny that Nancy Chang as a business model exists so well in Worcester because it's like, yeah, I want the shittiest Chinese food possible, but they said it's a little bit healthy. So I feel good about eating it, even though it's the exact same shit as anywhere else.
Just without salt.
Yeah, right. It's just a little bit less good.
Yes.
What a sentence right here.
Councilor Nguyen.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
Yeah, Worcester is very much like we love Chinese food, but could a white woman sell it to us? And could she have thousands of autographs on the wall?
You know what kind of goes hard though is that little sushi place above Nancy Chang.
Oh, that sushi place is incredible.
It's really good. It's called Sushi Miyazawa.
Oh yeah, no, I just wasn't paying attention when you said it. Absolutely.
Yeah, really good.
These standards, Council Road.
Could take that over Baba any day of the week.
I'm not
Oh
sure
yeah.
if there's an
It's
issue
way
in
more
other
authentic,
areas of the city.
like
This
sushi
is something
experience.
that's
Right.
been pretty consistent.
Plus, they have a sign on their door that's like, "We are not Nancy Chang's, you racists."
Couple
Like,
weeks, I'm not
this is
sure
a different
if we got a
place.
bad batch of some kind. It's not clear that it's identified to any particular geographic region, and it's certainly not different whether they're large bags or small bags. The question that keeps coming up is that when someone does get a bag that, for example, we had one in our home. You put things in it, and we get the straps going, and then the straps, were coming right out. What you do with the bag, because you've already
lost
used
his
it,
scarf.
Or you
He's
trash in it, and
inconsolable.
What the expectation is in and around that would be helpful to share to folks. It's natural that time to
It is
time,
pretty interesting to
like,
see
could be a bad batch or something
Christian King,
like that,
Patel,
definitely something that's
and
come up for the
two do
first time for
something
me
really
before.
useful and good earlier today,
Since I've been on council,
and then just have to
so just wanna
participate
raise
in
these
this thing
questions
that
and
is
again clarify what to do
where you
when
just like
you
functionally
get a
can't,
bag that isn't
and just sit here and endure everyone complaining about the
Chair. I'd
most
like to,
mundane,
thank
towny things
Council
possible.
Rose for
Yeah,
filing this,
Mayor
and I'd like to sign
Oslo.
on. The other thing that I wanted to add was that, and I'm not sure if there was a difference or not, but we just noticed that it was the same weight limit for the large bag as the small bag. And I'm not sure how
push
that
harder.
works out. But we've had problems. I've had people call and email all about the quality of the trash bags as well. And I know that we're paying more for them now because the cost has gone up, but they really should be able to handle the 15 pounds.
Yeah,
that
that is what they're
and it's
complaining about.
definitely not.
Yeah,
They're falling apart.
This
So
really, this is the
I
sort of
wanna
subtlety,
sign
though,
on.
that you miss if you haven't been suffering through this for
Yeah,
decades.
camera just
right?
moved
Like,
again.
Exactly. As a
these
moved
people
again.
created this problem, right? Like,
I don't know if we got
our
a bad
entire
batch
trash
or what, but,
situation is the
that
development of
will
this
have
body,
been
and
our
half of them were here
proposal.
when they did it.
Mhm.
And instead of just
I just wanted to
acknowledging that
sign
they
on.
fucked
Thank
up,
you,
and we should probably just do normal shit, like a regular second largest city in New
Yes,
England. It's like, oh, let's just spend the next decade talking about all these little changes and nitpicky things that we can do.
Yeah, where like the only actionable item on this thing about the trash bags breaking is like the city manager could conceivably just call the company and ask them to do better, and the company will go, okay, and then not change anything, and
Or acknowledge that the Glad Corporation had figured this out like decades ago, and it's not really the sort of thing that Worcester should be spending time worrying about.
This, Philippe, your comment is perfectly in for like fits in a chant. Weak straps, give us a bin. Weak straps, give us a bin.
I'm not sure what has happened.
Get T-shirts made for Attell.
Yeah.
let's go trash bin.
Oh, the trash bags have gotten into Scientology. They've gone clear.
Multiple bags people have been complaining about. So,
Yeah.
Great order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well-
Send that to the manager. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Councilor, I'm sorry, Councilor Russell, did you want to speak? Councilor?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to add that the experience that I've had is that the Public Works Department just tells people, obviously, if they've used the bag, I don't think that they'll be willing to accept them dirty, but if they have defective ones, the customer service, they always say, bring them down to customer service,
Yeah,
because they
of
like
course
to
they do,
track
because
and see
everyone else has
what the
trash
problem
bins.
is and all that kind of stuff, and they report
George
it.
is laughing because he thought about a used condom joke he made in 1983, and it just, oh, jeez. Wasn't that
Yeah, I
funny?
was trying to just make the point Council Russell did. And when we saw this order, we did make sure there's something posted on the website of the city to make it clear that folks can call customer service. And we will reimburse them if they did get a bad batch of bags. We sell about 3 million bags a year, so there's probably going to be some percentage that are defective. But obviously, we want our
Mo's studying up on the DUI he's getting a Worcester police officer out of right now.
If somebody got a defective bag, we want to know about it.
My favorite part about this is Mo Bergman's gonna hear about all this.
Yeah,
confirmed.
He's gonna have thoughts.
That's the manager. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yeah.
Mo Bergman really does have the thinnest skin
Yes.
possible.
GI?
His skin is thinner than one of our city trash bags.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yeah. Request the manager explore providing counsel to the data management system and with assist the council manager constituent.
Don't worry. He absolutely thinks that we're typing in these comments.
example,
It's going to be us that get sued.
Is biocide, which is used on the state and federal level. Councilor Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, yeah.
I recently
All the
learned
time.
that the assistant
Bo
city
Mergman, you should be in
manager
incognito
is,
mode
along with our city
on
clerk,
Twitch.
and Claire and others are on a project identifying an appropriate software for us to use, which I'm super excited about.
Why has Donna been doing
this order
dramatic
was born
hamster
out of,
cosplay
there's
all
any
night?
given time as a district council for me, I can get
Every
an
time
upwards
she
of
looks at the
30,
camera.
40 inquiries a week. At the first of the year, I had 37 inquiries in 4 days over different issues. That's 37, follow-ups to the city. That's 37 follow-ups back to constituents. And there are times when we have
Sean's sweater
orders,
looks so
items that are on that are hot button issues, and you want to be able to get back to folks. And so, an example of a Duffy field or something along those lines, you're looking at getting back to, in some cases,
Sean, do you
50,
are you
60,
positive you
70,
want to be
80
bringing up
people
Duffy
in
Field?
Castle, that you would be able
Yeah.
to
that one
miss
behind
somebody
us.
here.
Yeah.
Let sleeping
Lisa
sleeping
or
dogs
something
lie.
there.
As they
So,
say.
Yeah,
the
why?
other
Like,
part of it is
hey,
that
let me bring up
sometimes
an
the city
issue I
needs
was
to do their own
hammered on.
research, on whatever
Stick
the
to track.
issue is, and it might take a day or week or a little longer to get back to you, and depending on what the issue is. And sometimes those things can get lost if you're not tracking them properly. The city gets back to you and you're like, oh my God, I needed to get back to X on this. So extremely excited that there's going to be a software system that we can use to be able to track and just to ensure that we're getting back to everybody and that no one's missed. And again, I am super thankful for Claire. She is she is a godsend to me in help of doing certain follow-up. And I don't know who created the contact a counselor link, but that thing has been incredible as well. So I know that we're moving in a good direction.
There is a 100% chance that they end up contracting with a firm like Salesforce to do, contact management for them, and it results in them actually unintentionally, but rating constituents that call in like the same way with sales contacts. It's going to cost us like the biggest lawsuit in the history of the city.
Thank you.
Councilor Toomey.
I just wanted to express support. Having an appropriate CRM program would be helpful for every single one of us, and the follow-up that we could do. And I really want to thank Councilor Rose for filing this. It's a great idea.
Okay.
And also the administration.
Don't
for
bother,
having
Jenny.
done
We're
it
getting him
already.
fired. I don't know if you heard.
We can file that. Roll call.
You're going to want to reach out to a random dog or cat because they'll be in charge of the city soon.
Equally, I'm finding out as a district councilor that having a really cohesive and organized way of getting back to our constituents and also engaging in a way that's effective is a key part of doing this job right. I have, my intention is to invite Mr. Batista and staff to come give a presentation at the committee. The only thing that I wanted to put out there is that whatever software CRM we use is that it's consumer or constituent focused, meaning that whatever we do, we have the ability as district councilors to track complaints or issues, as well as have a way to consistently and in an organized manner report back to our constituents. So I'm excited to have that come up in the Urban Technologies and Innovation subcommittee, and thank you to the staff for working so hard.
It is cool that Attell is chairing that committee.
Yes.
Technologies, innovations, and like environmental stuff. That's a perfect role for her.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys, what is the actual process for determining committees? Is it just up to the mayor's discretion?
It's the mayor's discretion.
Because there's some
the public safety subcommittee is just the only evidence you need that they are never going to reform the police department. Ever.
No.
It was just like
that's why I was curious about it. It was specifically that one. Like that one is so fucked, it's out of control.
create that new position. And you can read a lot into that as well too. But that's the one place that you see folks that may have upset the mayor during the election cycle get spanked a little bit
in their presentations. It's like Candy got kicked off of economic development, which is good look. Economic development is like one of the subcommittees that has like a sort of cachet, a bigger cachet than the others. And I should actually write a post breaking down the subcommittees and the assignments and stuff. That would be useful for people, I think, because so much happens in those that is important. It's important what doesn't happen, because the public safety subcommittee meets like maybe once a year.
Right.
And they only meet when the cops want something that has to go through the committee.
Is Kate still the chair of that?
Yes. Yeah, that committee is Kate, Donna Calorio, and Sarai Rivera. And Sarai Rivera is actually the worst, I would say, or like on police issues, in terms of her whole political spectrum. She's really bad when it comes to the cops. For how much she talks about racial equity and stuff like that, the police never factor into that for her. So that's kind of like a 3-0. The cops get what they want committee.
So we're going to follow this item, roll call.
And I imagine that Kate Toomey gets that assignment every year because of some backdoor conversations, backroom conversations.
Agreed.
Yes.
And that's completely, that process is entirely undemocratic and happens outside of public scrutiny. That's just something the mayor gets to do.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, as much fun as we have with the mayor and like how funny is to talk to at like an event, it's like this is fucked, and that decision is fucked, and that decision is hate fucked.
Yeah. Sarai Rivera is pretty much all talk
Mr. Chairman.
most of the time, but she has done a couple really good things. I still think she's among the better city councilors.
100%. It's just it's just sometimes you see that like her political aspirations outweigh her morals.
She has been the most effective foil to Superintendent Binyenda, besides maybe Joe Petty on the city council. So that's good, but otherwise she's a little bit lacking for sure. But her heart's in the right place, which makes her automatically better than like 5 out of 11 city council.
Yeah. She's not objectionable. She just
I think that
I don't think that she's running for a higher office. It's just that they take these considerations into account when they're trying to win their seat again. Like there is very like there are there's a political machine, as stupid as that sounds, in Worcester.
No, there is. Yeah,
they're subject to it.
Yeah, that's a bad thing to dismiss offhand just because right-wing fucking weirdos always complain about it. I mean, it's a real thing. Like a lot of decisions are made before it ever reaches
for sure
a democratic process.
Right.
While we're discussing the most boring shit imaginable on the city council, a little rumor I heard, where if you listen to my podcast that was just okay, you might have heard about it, is that Harriet Chandler, that's it. Harriet Chandler was gonna step down from her seat, but then heard that Joe Petty wanted to run for it. So now she's going to stay in the seat so that he doesn't, because she doesn't want him taking her seat. She wants to give it to somebody else. So she's going to stay in the seat, even though she's well past retirement age, just because she doesn't want Joe Petty to have her seat.
I am so happy.
Thanks, Tommen.
That you said that, only because I had heard the same thing, and I've been chewing on my tongue all night wanting to drop that. But I
don't know.
Really heard the
Those
back
are the
end
kind of rumors we need to be spreading. Who cares?
I know, but
100%.
I'm paranoid. Every time someone tells me some shit that they shouldn't tell me, I just assume that like they just want to see like what my network of spreading rumors looks like.
This is some departed shit. They're running things down the chain.
I heard it from somebody who's very far removed from you. So
It's interesting because I only heard the last half that Joe was interested. I didn't hear that Harley had double back and made a decision to not.
It struck me shopping for gifts for various people.
Listen, get back on Instagram and start making posts, okay? You worm.
Yeah. No gruel for you until I hit 1,000 followers or whatever. I don't even know how many I have. I really don't pay attention to that Instagram at all. Thanks, Jack. You're the best.
Small businesses that I like to shop at. I know most, if not all, my colleagues do the same. And it would seem to me that
this is
we could be helpful
gift card
to those small businesses if we could design a similar type of card with participating small business owners.
Yeah, Ben, that's the nice version of the rumor. I prefer to believe the version of the rumor where she just would be insulted if Joe Petty took her seat, which is so funny.
Local owned business. Where they would benefit from that gift card. It's just a way of
Jack, that is a text message that is not a comment on the live stream.
Amazon and Visa cards.
Jack, fucking Jack, dude.
More likely to spend it on big chain stores, and I think a program like that could be designed. I've seen it designed in other cities and towns. And speaking with a lot of small business owners particularly during the holiday season.
Dude, that's so fucking spot on. That's so funny, dude. That's so funny.
Okay, so we'll send that to the manager. Roll call.
I don't understand anything about what he just, as a small business owner, nothing he just said makes any sense to me at all.
I love how no one's touching it, and they're just like, okay, I guess we'll just send that to the manager.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Jack, we can meet tomorrow. How about 5 at Vincent?
Totally made South Mom.
Yes.
Yes.
And the same thing with the Woo card, which is like, the complication with it is it brings in, you need another processing system to handle it. So it just ends up creating chaos and more work.
Oh, wait, this is the JFK Day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the first thing to point out is this is not a bill designed to establish a federal or state holiday.
I'll be there at 5.
It's really a bill designed to set up a commission to look at what's the best way to celebrate the life of President Kennedy. And I attached, or at least had the clerk's office attached.
Cheat on your wife with a celebrity.
Bill, and I think it's an excellent bill that's worthy of our support. It promotes civic engagement, voter participation, also promotes education. And certainly.
Oh, you're going to open the invite, Jack?
And
to our meeting?
You vile
You're going to open the invite?
Works more about the life of President Kennedy and certainly his connection, being born and a proud son of Massachusetts. So I think it's a good item to support, and I hope our colleagues will agree. Thank you.
Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, I get that, like, old people still love JFK, but who even cares about JFK anymore besides QAnon people?
I know, right?
Yes.
Rivera.
Like even generally agree with on the side of political history that he was on, but he got in because his father worked with the mob to get him in. Like,
privilege.
Come on, why are we pretending? JFK, we can leave him in the past.
And also 17A is a motion to accept and adopt, and 17B.
I'm gonna give myself Addison's disease.
Is a motion to accept.
In honor of JFK Day, I'm gonna cheat on my girlfriend.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With respect to item 16B,
for Kennedy Day, I'm not gonna tip at Coney Island.
That perhaps the law department would resubmit to all of us the kind of
for JFK Day. I'm gonna drive around in the back of a limo and wait.
We get relaxed in the real.
For JFK Day, I'm gonna blow Bill's brains out.
For talking about items under suspension, and I think there's some merit.
Might fuck around.
I'm gonna shoot Bryan for blowing Bill's brains out.
For all of us to
no, you can't. Hey, you can't. There's no movie theater in Worcester. There's nowhere to catch me.
You know what I might do for JFK Day is hypnotize Brendan and trigger him with the word to shoot Bryan for shooting my brains out.
Just asking that. I know there's an existing memo that's been passed out in previous council.
Mo Bergman, I'm gonna blow your back out. How about that?
Hey.
Yeah. We're having fun. Parody.
Yeah, as to the reasons for holding an item under suspension.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll take 16B to 16, I guess, the items along with the motion to get a report back again.
I think for JFK Day, I
roll
might
call.
fuck around and shatter the CIA into 1,000 pieces.
Yes.
Or
Councilor
try.
Gloria,
Yes.
Councilor GA,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yes.
Hey, Bill, remind me, was it in this
Yeah.
agenda or
Councilor
was it
Leanne?
in Joe's inauguration that there was conversation
Rivera?
about putting more
Yes.
focus on the
Rose?
committees? I feel like
Yes.
that's stuck in my head for
Russell?
some reason, that there
Yes.
was some talk of
Toomey?
Yes.
redirecting
Very
public
funny.
participation towards the
18A
council
to be
committees
ordained,
versus.
18A, 18B,
Am I just
18C.
making?
that was
Did I
a
have a fever dream?
that
And
was
Dan with a
a
roll call.
Telegram article.
It was okay.
So,
It's
That
just I
was-
was thinking of that when we were talking
Yeah.
about the committees. That's also one of
Bergman?
the scary
Yes.
things about this
Yes.
is
Councilor Gloria,
if there's a desire to be pushing the
GA?
public participation
Yes.
portion of
King?
this night
Yeah.
to those
Councilor
subcommittees,
Carlson,
it also really
Dominguez?
does strip a lot of
Yes.
focus from
Councilor
the
Rivera?
council having to do
Yes.
anything. It's like all the heavy
Rose?
lifting gets done
Yes.
on those
Right.
committees.
Councilor Russell,
They happen
Yes.
at odd times of the
Toomey?
day.
Yeah.
We'll never know about
Very
them.
funny.
Well, you will, but those of us who
Yes.
aren't going through agendas
19A
for each individual
Yeah.
is,
subcommittee,
request
and they might
minutes
never
considered
actually have a
for the new
hearing.
Procedure for city
Right.
charter in
And
2022.
that's also, I think, like a culture
sure.
change that Joe
Councilor
Petty's not capable of accomplishing.
Thank you,
by
Mr.
himself.
Chairman. I'll be very brief on this item. There have been items that have come
Oh,
before the
boy.
council over the last term that I think strike to the heart of what the city
boy.
charter is all about. I know the manager is very fond of the expression having more tools in the tool shed. I'm not suggesting this needs to take place, but I would ask the manager to have this as a tool in his tool shed, to consider that if items come up, they really strike to the heart of procedure that really should be followed in a charter review and a popular vote versus action taken by the council.
Charter
on its own.
review,
I
very
just think it's
sneakily
another
could
tool in
happen.
the tool shed. I carefully worded that to say consider, and I just want to be clear that this has no connection at all to any suggestions of the strong mayor versus city manager form of
Oh,
government.
definitely.
Very
Wink,
content
wink,
with our city
wink,
manager,
wink.
and that this has nothing to do with that at all. But there are items that have come up before that I think strike to the heart of what popular voting should be for. And I think it's, again, something for the manager to consider if and when those items reappear in this new term. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Because he is fucking zooming.
Okay. Seems like a written explanation from the law department, just on how. Okay.
Sure, I think that would be helpful, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Because the council does the charter review, but I just want to get a report back how the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Again, I'm not suggesting we have a charter review. I'm just suggesting that the manager consider that in the upcoming term, if and when there are items he deems more appropriate for a popular vote through a charter.
Hi, Molly.
Than a vote of the council. So.
See ya at 5 at Vincent's.
Mr. Chairman,
Drinks on Jack.
I think the
Drinks on Jack. He opened it up.
From the
So
law department would be a great idea. My understanding
Back in the
is that
sewer, Mo.
this kind of an issue would rest with the council and not with the manager, but I may be wrong. So just a directive from the law department about various different options that the council and
dude, the way they're
administration
pussyfooting
have,
around this
and
changing
what powers, if
the
any,
city council
either one
districts
of us
thing is
have,
just
because
amazing.
I really
Like-
believe that my understanding of the charter is that it would fall within
So,
the purview of the council. Or
if you'll remember the
citizens
last
petition,
meeting
it wouldn't have anything. It wouldn't be a
where
decision of the manager.
they voted to
But I might be
file
wrong, so
Christian King's
let's
item
get-
about
I'd be happy to
considering
get that
6
information
council
from the law
districts.
department.
Okay.
Now they're
Councilor
talking about this
Councilor King.
in
Mr.
a
Chairman,
way
I'll
more.
be
Oh
brief.
wait, I wanna
I
go.
held this because I felt it was a little bit confusing. I thought, as Council Russell indicated, that the
What?
charter
If
review
he held
was
it, why are they
our
talking
purview,
about
not the purview of the city manager. So I just wanted to raise my hand in support of getting a legal opinion on this particular order. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This was a bit confusing for me as well, regarding what a review procedure would actually look like. And in addition to that, as mentioned by my colleagues, I think this is something that's under the purview of the council rather than the administration. And I too would like law department to weigh in on that. I think, we've had a lot of conversations about, processes and public input. Particularly, it came up during our discussions about the redistricting or creating districts into minority and majority districts of the school committee. And that's when, you know, we had some more fervent or more heightened calls for things of this nature. So I'm not comfortable supporting something like this as it's written. So I'd have to be very clear on what the language looks like. And I know there was some sort of, I'm not sure if it was a motion by you, Mr. Chairman, or whom. But as it's written, I could not support this. In fact, like, maybe this is something we should be holding again until we get some information. We don't want to appear as though we're deferring our responsibility to the administration. We know that when it comes to
no, he just lives
matters,
inside of a late 19th century era building.
Consent decree,
It's his living room.
We have the opportunity
Paquito,
to
can
make
we
that
get a
decision as
confirmation
council.
on the fact that everybody is in the building right now, even though they're
to the
not
people,
allowed?
And the people have the opportunity to also make movement. So I can't support this as written, Mr. Chair.
I think Council Bergen, he corrected me, but I think we agreed that we get a legal opinion of what the procedure would be. And is that correct, Council Bergman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. If there's any confusion, the usual process that we use on these items is to have a legal opinion on what can or can't be done. And
super spread out.
I think it's a good suggestion, and I don't think it needs to be held because we're waiting for a legal opinion. I think it needs to go forward for the opinion, and then we can decide at that point. My colleagues certainly can decide if they want to support it or not.
Okay, is that clear? Or?
Could you read the motion then, Mr. Chair?
So the motion is to consider creating a new review procedure for the charter in 2022 and get and receive a legal opinion to that effort. Is that fair?
Pending a legal opinion, I could do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Council Haji.
could I just ask a very clarifying question? Is the framing of the order that's going to the legal department around the ownership of this particular procedure from city council? In other words, are we asking the city solicitor to tell us whether city council has purview over any changes in charter review?
Yeah,
I think we need to get a wire inside one of these fucking pre-meetings. We need to get us a spy.
Roll call.
So this, Mr. Chairman, just to be clear, this is as amended?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
as amended. I could have said that.
Clearly, Donna's the biggest nerd for actually meeting in the room.
Yes. Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
That's right.
Hey, Paquito,
Yeah.
reach out.
Councilor
We will do this.
Councilor Carlson?
Not fucking
Yeah.
around. Let's do
Councilor
this.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. So 19B, the owner of the establishment couldn't be here tonight, so we asked to hold it. So we need a roll call to hold that.
Yeah, there's a very specific mirror in City Hall
Bergman?
that someone has
Yes,
to break
Chairman,
before she can
I'd
leave
like
that
to
room.
recuse myself on this item, please.
Sure.
Ooh, why is
we'll
George
start
Russell
again
recusing
on the
himself
roll
on the
call.
Bridal Street items all of a sudden? Huh?
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Little weirdo.
GA?
Didn't do that last time.
Councilor Carlson?
Fucking weirdo.
Councilor Nian?
Sketchy real estate guy. Weirdo guy.
No, he just loves their pizza.
Yes.
Recuse himself. Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. So I think that brings us to the end of the meeting. Councilmember Carlson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. A few weeks back, there were items that were tabled that we took off the table, but I see tonight that 20B still remains on the table. That was an item that was supposed to be taken off the table and for us to vote on that.
I'm gonna grab a screen
Okay, so
grab
again,
of her
for
glasses
for
so we can
procedure
figure out what
purposes,
she's
we'll just
actually
do that
looking at
tonight.
on the screen.
The motion
I was
is
thinking about that
to
earlier with
create
Donna.
20B
There has to be
table. Roll call.
some fun,
Councilor
something
Bergman?
fun, some fun
Yes.
info.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor GA?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nian?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
And this episode is sponsored by Crafty
Yes.
Kombucha, Worcester's other brewery.
Council with that motion.
Worcester's
yeah.
local culture.
Motion
love
for
it.
file, roll call.
Correct.
Yeah, all these people are drinking
Yes.
kombucha. They be fucking staying
Lawyer.
awake.
Yes.
Councilor GA,
Yes.
Councilor King,
Yeah, hoping to
Carlson.
crush Candy Merrill Carlson.
Councilor Yen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes, so the motion would be to adjourn. So roll call.
Councilor
What?
Bergman,
Anyone?
Yes.
Councilor Gloria,
Yes.
Councilor GA,
What?
Yes.
Councilor King,
Am I stuck in this hell?
Councilor Carlson, Councilor Yen,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Rose,
Yes.
Councilor Russell,
Yes.
Councilor Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Have a great
Good
night.
Right.
Good night.
Enjoy.
Mayor Putty.
Okay.
All right.
So that was pretty much just stupid and boring. And
Scarf.
like,
We got that library update though, man. That was
wow, yeah.
that's
We
like
really
needed
needed that.
material for you.
You know what? Like, that is something that you might expect to see at like a Board of Selectmen meeting in like Holliston or Rutland or like a small town where there's really not that much to do. You get like the library director to come in and be like, these are our initiatives. But for the like executive body of the second largest city in New England to just be entertaining that is like kind of ridiculous. Like, it really is just insane.
Right.
It's literally a book report.
Yeah, like what they believe their job is. But otherwise, it was just sort of like mundane towny complaints, trash.
That charter
Trash
stuff.
bags.
That's going to be a weird one.
The charter stuff is very sketchy.
They all know exactly how that process works, and we've talked about it before. It's either can be a popular vote made up of that the majority of registered voters can push forward as a ballot item,
Which
or
is
it's the
impossible.
council can just or the council can just do it, and they
Right.
all know that that's the process.
Yeah. And what they're not talking about is that home rule petitions, like the one outlined in the consent decree, don't require like an entire lawsuit. Like Boston just did a home rule petition on rent control. And like, that's great. And Worcester could be doing that. And they don't seem to like consider that to be something that they can do. So Mo Bergman is obviously trying to open up a general charter review with bad intentions. He doesn't want to see the school committee and the city council be mirrored.
Yeah.
And he's telegraphed that. I mean, he's basically said it out loud. So you have to be deeply skeptical.
The wrong people could vote, Bill.
Yeah.
That's what he told us.
Yeah, right. He did say that in like one of the first times that they talked about this. It's incredible how like anti-democratic his position is on this. And so just you can't trust anything that he's doing. So this order, Christian King was right to be skeptical about this order.
Well, to the question,
Yeah.
I think that any charter review process ends with strong mayor, and it's
Right,
not that it's not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I think it's important that people look back at why planny forms of government exist. It was designed around the idea of eliminating corruption in cities like Worcester that don't have the kind of oversight where, like Boston, corruption's kind of hard because you got a U.S. attorney literally sitting in the harbor, keeping eyes on things.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of potential for oversight here. So, I mean, this city it could be awesome. It could get messy really, really quick.
Well, that's why somebody like Mo Bergman wants it, is because what it does is bring money into politics. Like it brings
100%
incentive into politics.
And there's like personal opportunity in the chaos if you're, somebody with a good understanding of the law and have real estate holdings. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
No, totally. It
yeah.
brings in mountains of campaign dollars, and mountains of campaign dollars brings in mountains of lobbying dollars, and it changes the potential dynamics in the city quite a bit.
Right, right. And I mean, essentially, like Ed Augustus is not the model of like an executive or like just a practitioner of municipal operations. He's a political guy. He's just more politically powerful within the apparatus of the state Democratic Party than anyone on the city council. So it's like kind of like he would just be the mayor in a strong mayor situation, like pretty much without a doubt. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it necessarily changes all that much, but if it gets more people interested, it's not a bad thing. Like I think I would like to go through a whole charter review thing just because it would bring people into the fold and get people interested. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, if there's anything to be said for it is our charter's kind of dated, right? And I mean, that's the argument with old government documents is that, you know, it doesn't kill you to update them every once in a while. I know this is sacrosanct in the United States, but like we're the youngest Western democracy with the oldest constitution, right? Like that's a weird thing. Like, you know, people, you change the rules every once in a while when it makes sense.
And I would say some of the newest amendments are some of my favorites. I love them.
Yeah.
19th? Fuck yeah.
That is some good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that even if it's a fruitless exercise, I think that spending the time looking at the city charter is a much better use of the city council's time and authority than complaining about trash bags breaking when you go to take your trash out. Like that is a nothing. There's nothing to gain with that. It's just like relaying a petty little bullshit thing that your residents complain about to the city.
In some ways, if we were moving past that stuff into like a bigger stratosphere politically, then those problems would be solved instead of them being hay for political bullshit in the city. Like they wouldn't fuck around with those problems. They would just fix them because they got bigger things to worry about. And
and we could end up with a Buddy Cianci type figure who's going to like, I mean, imagine if Mayor Putty
I would love that.
Pulled a flaming log out of the fireplace in City Hall and beat Jay Fink over the head with it because he was fucking his girlfriend and because the road sucked. Like this show would be awesome. Like there's just the potential.
Yeah, we're on the ground floor of this. So even just from a chaotic standpoint, I think we should be pushing for charter review for a strong mayor system because we're set up to really get in. I mean, we've got Pacillo here who's willing to walk into these closed
placing
meetings.
wiretaps as we're speaking.
Yeah. I mean,
and I want to put it out there that we are 100% willing. I am 100% willing to be a vector for these things. If you want to spy, give me the info. I will release it. I don't care.
Same.
I've had to utilize lawyers before. I have a pretty good lawyer. I'm not worried about Mo Bergman coming after me. So let's talk more, Slow Paquito, because I think there's a lot of info that we should be getting out there. I think that's ultimately the message of tonight. in if we're gonna wrap it all, and that Bo Bergman is an ally.
I think. With us, he's different. We're gonna change him. We're gonna change that man. We're his new cool friends.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a fascinating first meeting of the council this year. I mean, we saw in probably about 45 seconds total of speaking time, Attell, Tu, and Christian be maybe the only ones that actually said anything of substance or raised any. Actually.
It's actually true how that worked out. I mean, like there was, they all had a moment where they did something that wasn't just like the regular just blabbermouth for 5 minutes prattling on about something like stream of consciousness. Like Christian's question about Mo Bergman's charter change item was very pointed. Attell's question about the library and how it's handling a new influx of Afghan refugees was really good. I don't remember. What did two do? I don't remember.
Oh, just Joe friendly amendment 3 times. Which, if we keep that up, that's gonna be the best thing of this council. Right? I mean, that's the city council equivalent of like a rusty prison yard shiv, saying a friendly amendment. And
ooh, I like that's a pretty good team name. Climate change. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think we need more pitches next week. We'll go through the comments and pull out there was a few really good suggestions. So keep pitching those. We'll have a poll in the next few weeks, I think, on Instagram to decide what we're going with, and then we'll start making memes on it. Yenny's got an item next week. We should keep an eye out for that, everybody. Jenny's item got pushed to next week as well. So I think be ready to call in more about that. Both of these items. This was, I think we learned a lot tonight. Really excited for JFK Day. I think we should all be subscribing to Bill Sheener's Substack, Worcester Sucks, and I love it. Bill, talk a little bit about the new podcast.
Oh yeah, so that's a supplement to the newsletter. It's called Worcester's Good But Hurts. I'm doing it with my good friend Dan Anderson, and it's just going to be a couple interesting things from the week to stay on top of, sort of in the vein of Worcesteria, or what Worcesteria used to be. They call it Worcester Magazine, where it's like political, a little bit of insider stuff, rumors, and it's just going to be a quick, fun little weekly thing. Just talk for an hour about Worcester and then throw it online. That's it. And it's going to be cool. Yeah. It's going to come out like on Friday or Saturday every week. And some of them will be free. Some of them will be paid. And it's just a way to get to all of the things that I want to write about, but can't invest the time it takes to write like 4,000 words about it like I usually do. So that's the idea there. So I'm excited to build that into the routine for sure. I think it'll be a fun listen.
Hell yeah. I'm very, very excited about it. Like I said before, Highway 69, one of my favorite podcasts of the last few years.
Yeah, I got to get that back going. Those were so fun.
So incredible.
That's been on hiatus for a little bit, but we'll get that back going, I hope. Yeah.
Brendan Melican, when's the next episode of your show?
Don't even bother, man. It's just I'll be here with you guys, but who knows?
There's back episodes to listen to. You can go through the catalog, everybody. If we're plugging
traffic, it'll make me happy.
Yeah, there we go. If we're plugging podcasts, I'll plug my podcast, Parts Unknown, a wrestling podcast. Myself and Will Smalley talking about pro wrestling. We've done 6 episodes already. We've talked about Kevin Nash in almost every episode, the most of the episode. But we're talking about things like wrestlers in movies, wrestlers on TV, action figures, video games, how the cameras work in wrestling, all sorts of dumb pop culture-y kind of thing. It's fun. Listen to it. Guys, please follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to the show here on Twitch. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. This was an incredible night in the comments. You guys did amazing. Brendan, what are you eating for dinner?
I have no idea. It's going to be a surprise. I've been trapped in this room for, what time is it? 3 hours now? Yeah, I've got no idea. I've been staying alive with nicotine tablets for the last 3 hours. And
that's good. Oh, wow. There it is.
No.
Well, thank you all so much. Again, drink Craft Tea Kombucha, our wonderful sponsors. Thank you so much to Matt. Buy all the kombucha. Bring your bottles back down to the brewery. Worcester's other brewery. It's good stuff. We love it. And we will see you next Tuesday, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Stay warm.